Okay, so that brings us up to our Pathfinder session number 80. You've survived 80 sessions, or at least some of your characters have anyway.
Not counting. Have come back multiple times.
Some of you have. And some of you have different characters from what you started with.
Mm.
And that's not counting the 50-odd sessions from Wednesday's group as well. So quite a few sessions have gone into the story so far. So you're up to Season 5, Episode 7. And Dooza has 115 days left to live. I'm sure that's the important part to tell everyone.
Mm.
And speaking of that, Em, you're up first.
Hello, I play Dooza, your ever-lovable half-orc with Puppy and Giant. And according to this morning's Pocket God announcement, I have 115 days left to live. Or defeat the Sandpoint Devil, or become his bitch, or, you know, whatever happens.
Always fun when that happens. Next up is Mark.
Hello, I'm playing the even more lovable Sparky, the naked dwarf rogue.
So Sparky's no longer wearing clothes.
Well, naked of less of hair. My first naked dwarf has ever been in the scenario. Possibly the first one.
The face gets clothes, that makes her naked.
She does wear some clothes, but naked in regards to beards and hair and the other sort of situations.
Hairless might have worked better.
Yeah, who's got some fixing up of her lifestyle to do with. So.
You're currently a fixer-up lifestyle.
Yes.
Does Sparky wear a veil to help hide the fact she hasn't got a beard?
Sparky has a hat of disguise, and there's currently a hood to make sure no one sees the lack of hair. Okay.
But that's okay. When you talk to Sparky, you can never tell if she's surprised. No eyebrows.
That's right. I can't do a certain famous wrestler of the land's I think. So, yeah.
Next up is Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Cordar, the still trying to recover Elven heritage would-be hero of Sandpoint, having grown up on the legends of the Pathfinder Society, is out to try and do good and save the world from all the evil that's out there.
And at the moment, last one up on there is Peter.
Greetings. I'm playing the highly moral and religious Lord Willie One Kenobi. I'm currently trying to work out a way to get my ability to be sarcastic back. Currently, all I can do is squeak at people. Very disturbing.
I'm not sure if it's more disturbing for the people you're squeaking at or for you currently trying to say the disturbing comments.
At least I'd have a release if I could be sarcastic. Yeah, currently it just sort of builds up.
It's like, why is Willie beating that person up senseless? Well, he can't be sarcastic. He has to do it some other way.
He dreams in sarcasm now, doesn't he? Or is that his god also punishing him?
Oh no, his god shows him a book with all his sarcasm in it every time he sleeps.
Oh.
So he can read all the sarcastic remarks he wanted to make, he still can't make them.
Yeah. At least I get support and love and understanding from my wife, right?
Yep. With that, she has a gift for you.
Okay.
So she gives you what appears to be a tawny owl.
A tawny owl?
Yeah, tawny owl.
A live one or a stuffed one or...
It turns its head and looks at you and hoots in your face.
Oh.
She says she's named her Oversight.
Sure, I guess.
She's sure it will come in handy.
I'm sure if we get really hungry, it will come in handy. Yes.
And she's sure you'll bring it back in one piece, alive.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do my best, my love.
She pats you on the shoulder and then gives you a big hug. Tries not to break any bones this time.
I'm probably a little bit sensitive after last night.
And plus, she doesn't know her strength sometimes.
I've noticed.
So, last session we had you doing some investigations. Does anyone remember what happened last session, or do you need me to recount it for you?
The main thing that I remember from Cordike's perspective of last session was that before we left Magnemar to get back to Sandpoint again, from what was south of Magnemar to where the Shard of Lust is currently pointing to. And when we got to Magnemar, the fact that Koya and his family were apparently planning a trip northwards.
That's when you got to Sandpoint.
Alright?
That's when you got to Sandpoint.
Yeah, like when we got to Sandpoint. So Koya and the family were planning a trip northwards to because Emiko had discovered some hints or secrets about her family's past.
And
I can't remember actually much about what we were doing for the actual current session.
That's okay. Well, Doomsday had relinquished his orcish axes to Lady Hindmarsh in Magnemar. Sparky had given up her dagger and had a request for a clip of repeating crossbows. And Willie had left his wraps behind to be further enchanted.
No, I hadn't, because I didn't have the money to have them further enchanted.
Though she wasn't actually asking for a cost from people at the time.
Oh, really?
So if you didn't want to leave your wraps behind, that's completely up to you.
It'll be services to Lady Hindmarsh at a later date. Probably.
No, if she's happy to do it, I'm happy to let her do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sort of suggested that we needed to provide the dollars or the runes or whatever else.
Well, she'd also given each of you some equipment to help you continue on.
Yep. I got my staff, my shrinky staff.
And some red wine. And you seem to be able to walk through weather without any problems. Apparently weather doesn't like you.
I thought that was my lovely wife.
Well, it could be, you don't really know.
Well, my wife took the credit for it, but that's not saying much.
Well, she may know what it is and still take the credit for it.
I know, right?
And Sparky got herself a key and some candy for Koya.
That's right. I gave it to Koya, found out it shouldn't have been expensive as it was.
Oh no, it was always that expensive because it was donations to the Temple of Desna.
Yeah. Still, personally, Sparky doesn't.
Also, probably candy that Koya provides for the temple.
Yeah, still the case, and I got a key with a skull on it. So.
Mm-hmm. And Perry got a belt to help him lift. So hopefully he won't put his back out next time he tries to lift Doomsday in their private moments. And also got a necklace of fireballs. Apparently previous user did not expend any fireballs in their usage of it.
Well, that's surprising, but it's
I was saving up for a rainy day.
Well, they were round balls on a string, so who knows exactly what they were using it for. Next one, Doomsday managed to get a hobbling snare to hopefully help with tracking and capturing or fighting creatures, because preparation is everything.
But apparently, Doozer doesn't understand the concept of preparation.
And some health potions because, well, Doozer actually managed to buy some. And Cordo managed to get himself a sturdy shield.
Yep.
Even though I wrote down study shield, which makes it even more interesting.
Cordo always studies hard. But this got shield with some cheat notes on the back, is that right?
Quite possibly. And the next line I had was you were studying the south of Magnamar, so obviously it's all about the Southlands.
Exactly. Oh, that's good then, yep. It'll come in handy when we go southwards.
So instead of going south to use the notes that you'd cheated and written on the back of your shield with, you went north.
Apparently someone was still concerned about some figure of 115 days or something, so...
Well, you've got plenty of time.
Exactly.
As long as you still got one day, I'm sure the rest of the party will say you've got plenty of time.
Yeah, sure.
But I think, was there something else back in Sandpoint that had drawn us back to Sandpoint again?
There was, besides...
I was hoping to kill some certain thing, the same thing in some way, so I didn't have to worry about an extra curse-ish kind of thing against me.
The upbeat curse?
Yeah.
Well,
I might see how many I can get on this character, see how far I go. Yeah, I'll see how I go.
You know, I have far more curses than I have magical items in this game.
I know you do. I don't know if I should push the limit to see how far I can get one more character, that's all.
And while you're limited to how many items you can invest in per day, you are not limited in how many curses you can carry.
Bonus, isn't it?
I might make that for the Christmas edition. Let's see. So, but anyway, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Well, you've still got a few party members you don't have a shared curse with.
That's true. That's true.
And you can stay away from Cordo.
Oh.
Okay, so what you headed off to Sandpoint to do was to investigate a couple of deaths.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And showing up, you found out from the cathedral there that Lady Kenobi had been keeping these deaths quiet from the community because, well, her opinion of people are they're stupid and will mess up the investigation if they know too much. Which is probably not terribly unwarranted considering that most of them don't particularly trust the Chilaxians at this point, considering they were all ritually carved up and killed, and that the fact that there were 20 of them.
I was going to say, the fact there's been 20 deaths is potentially some reason for concern for the local community.
And the 20 deaths happened over the last 40 days, but all the bodies were found in the last week by Amiko.
Kept stumbling over them.
Yep. Imagine a week stumbling over 20 different bodies. So, and you sort of wonder why she was planning this getaway.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the last pile of bodies she stumbled across going, well, there's so much dead here, I may as well leave now while I still can.
That's right, yeah. This is worse than a visit from Jessica Fletcher.
And you had just gone through 3 days of hail and rain.
Yeah.
When...
a sturdy shield makes a good umbrella when you got to move through though.
It does. Though it does still get damaged over time.
Mm-hmm.
What you really need is one of those antimantine shields that won't take damage from small impacts.
Hey, we go with what we've got, and the skill, the crafting to at least do the repairs when needed. So.
Okay, so
Things get buffed.
having spent some time in the cathedral and at Cordar's residence while you were doing investigations, You had managed to determine that all the bodies had been killed using either a blunt instrument or were tied up and slowly tortured over a number of days. And some of them likely watched other members being tortured while they were also tied up.
Waiting for the opportunity to have their turn. It's so much fun.
So it does look as if some of them had some days of healing in between their cutting and torture. And that they
was that on the later bodies, or is that across all of them? Because didn't we work out that like they were getting more skill towards like the fresher or the latest kills?
The latest kills had less hesitation. The first kills looked like they had more hesitation. And some of the ones in the middle had got bludgeoned and to death while they were capturing them. So obviously they got lucky to start with. Got a bit messy in trying to capture people after that. And then got practiced at capturing people.
Maybe Dooza should employ some of his snare traps in the areas that we've been tracking, and maybe he might catch himself some big game.
Well, you've got one whole trap, and once you set that trap up, it is expanded.
Oh, I only got one? Oh,
You got one, and it's a single-use item.
Whoa, there goes that idea.
Just so you know, snares are a powerful tool in the game, but they're costly.
Yeah.
They're like magical potions. You use them where you need to.
Which I now have like 10 or 11, because I think I have one left in my inventory from having like 3. So now I have lots of potions. Or potions. Potion hoarder. New title acquired.
Potion master or potion distributor. Potion quaffer.
Potion keeper.
Healer.
Healer. Yeah, no. So, if you say that, dudes will just like kind of cringe because there's like the things of parry, even though parry's a wizard, doesn't have any healing at all. It just brings to mind bad things.
Enough to.
And you all get to see Willie get given his bird.
I ask Willie is it friendly?
Or is it a what?
Friendly. Can I pat the bird? I'm pretty much what I'm trying to get to.
My character looks at you and goes, sure.
Cool. I'll attempt to pat the bird.
We'll find out if it's friendly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's your character's armor class?
On my armor class?
Mm-hmm.
20.
Okay, so you almost get your finger taken off as it snaps at your finger.
Gotcha. Not friendly. Keep away from it.
Whoa. Yeah, my character sort of steps back and goes, looks at my wife, goes, really?
She nods and says, I never said it was friendly.
Yeah, but how
Is it not friendly?
with me if it's going to eat me?
Oh, it won't eat you.
Oh, okay, that's okay then.
I assume she's looking straight at me when she said that too.
Well, she doesn't need to. She just knows that you know she's referring to you.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I have 2 undead dogs that don't like me. A oversized budgie, what I call it. Animals don't like me. It worked out.
It squawks in your direction as you call it an oversized budgie. Rather rudely too.
Oh, it's more that I was more following in my head, but I'll give you that one, man. That's okay. So that's fair enough. So.
Well, funnily enough, most animals don't like me either. Don't know why.
Oh, well, that's okay, but just keep that away from me. That's all I say.
Sure.
I just give the bird a look of going, yeah, whatever, go away.
It stares at you, and you can see it almost like its eyes seem to cross into that intense stare look.
To be fair, it's not
I'm
like...
going to try to outstare. No, I'm not going to try to outstare. I'll leave the campsite stuff. I'll try to outstare it, but it's okay.
To be fair, it's not like Willie or the bird tried to take it close to Sparky. It's Sparky that came to it.
Sparky, but look, I hope the bird was friendly. I thought all the unfriendly animals in this group, including that ex-horse of mine, I think I deserve definitely have a friendly animal that I can actually just pat and say hello.
The GM will then remind the player that it's a horror campaign.
I know, but I'm hoping one day there might be a nice animal. It's okay.
The horses look like you as well.
Sparky should get her own pet.
No, the last horse was the one that turned into the nightmare horse that we had to kill in the graveyard.
The dogs would probably like you if you hadn't shot one of them in the arse.
It was an accident, and it was called a bad guy. I think you shoot one dog in the arse, and they don't chase you for it. I don't know why. It's just like... Anyway, I realise that animals and me don't work right now, so I'll start keeping away from animals.
Maybe you should keep a pet rock.
Yeah, rock will hit me in the head. I know this is going to happen. So I've already seen this happening already.
Surely a dwarf, well, you're right. A real dwarf, a pet rock would be good, but...
So maybe you should get Sparky one of those mechanical Tinker toys that they use to, like fidget spinner sort of thing.
Oh, a real elf could teach me how to do it properly as well, but hey, there's no real elf in this party, so that's okay. I can go there too, don't worry. We haven't forgotten about your elf issues. Anyway,
it's on in the party apparently.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like getting nasty in the party, yeah? No. So, okay. So we're off to... I just ask loudly between the party while we're all together.
Well, I think the intent was to possibly go and investigate since where the bodies had been found, of which the first bodies, well, the bodies were the oldest, even though they were one of the most recent found, was at the glasswork, I think.
I know it was at the lumber mill.
Lumber mill, sorry, yep.
One of the major areas of work in Sandpoint during the non-frozen months.
Yeah.
Which then brings up the question of how many of you have cold weather gear?
I think surprisingly, Boozer actually does, and he has cloaks for his dogs because of the experience we had early on in the campaign.
No. I'm a kid and a few little tanglefoot bags and stuff like that, and that's all I've got. So no, I have to get some clothes work.
Well, you can use your hat of disguise to make it look like you've got a cold weather kit.
Yeah, no. I know where you're going with this. I'm going to definitely get some cold wear. Well, the idea was very thoughtful in my head at the time, but I just don't think Sparky turns to ice and then breaks up into pieces. So I don't think so. Yeah. I don't want to do a... yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the same. I need cold weather gear.
Yeah.
Well, actually, do I, Martin?
Well, you step outside and it feels like a nice balmy day to you at the moment.
I'll get some anyway, and just carry it around. And
just in case.
If I need it at some point, I'll wear it.
You don't want to look different. You want to stand out. So.
Oh no, I'm happy to stand out.
Well, you're quite comfortable in just very thin layers.
Awesome.
Why?
Order does already have winter clothing amongst his normal collection. So I was going to say, if he didn't, well, I'm sure he's got probably something stored away in his room at Victoria. For however cold the winters in Sandpoint normally get, so he does actually have at least. So.
I'll go find the local tailor, see if we can buy some dwarf-sized cold weather gear.
I'll go with you.
Okay, so Sandpoint cold weather gear.
In the middle of winter, particularly in the middle of a May hailstorm.
They must be open there. Must be. We're making a trading business right now. Hey, if I had a size store open, I would be open it right now. Just saying.
Okay, so heading out there. You don't want any of those places because they don't really help.
No.
The armory won't help you much.
No. I think the tailor's probably the best one.
But you
Well,
end up
another
at Rovanki's tannery.
Yeah, sounds close enough.
And you're greeted by Lars with a chest bash to Willie.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
He goes, my good friend, Lord Willie, he says. Or is it Lord Will? I can never tell.
I'm happy with you, especially for a friend.
So what brings you to my fine establishment? And aren't you cold?
Not really, but I expect that they may change at some point. So I'm looking to, me and my dwarf friend here are looking to buy some warm weather gear.
Okay, he brushes ice forming on top of Sparky off her. The wind was that cold that ice was forming all over Sparky.
No, I say thank you. Always polite.
So I should have quite a few things in stock. Let me check what I've got available as the GM pulls out the book and looks up the items.
Unless he's all sold out or he's got 2 items left and he can sell it 10 times normal price.
And he says, so, is this happens to be the dwarf who walked through town destroying things wherever she went?
I believe that's a no comment.
I shrug my shoulders a bit. As they are. No. Don't know. Didn't know there was such a dwarf doing that. Because I know that the price would go extraordinarily up if I said yes. So.
And he says, so how many hairless dwarfs are there in town today?
I don't know, just me at the moment, I believe.
Well, I guess you're it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You've got the Sandpoint tax appointed to you for the repair work, so goods have been slightly inflated to help pay for the damages when you were last here.
Very cool. I'll say accept it. Yeah, that's understandable.
So we have this nice barely used winter outfit that will fit a dwarf. Previous owner no longer needs it. And it's going currently for 4 gold pieces for you, unless you'd like to haggle, in which case we can increase the price.
Sorry, man, I had a nurse coming. I'll look over the dwarf, the formerly used one. How much bloodstains is it on, or anything like that? Or...
You have a look. There doesn't appear to be any bloodstains on it.
Can I try it on? I just try to fit it on and see how
So
it feels. Not too restrictive, I hope.
It fits on. It's a little bit loose. Obviously, the last wearer was a little
Area.
more muscly than you.
A real dwarf.
Oh, that's harsh, man. Harsh as damn.
Well, you believe it was a male dwarf's get-up.
Females are just as strong as males, don't they?
They are, but they generally don't have as much muscle mass.
It's fair enough. I know. I'm just being a sensitive female dwarf right now. We don't hear.
I was actually trying to say because you didn't have your hair.
Yeah,
but I can add that if you'd like.
No, that's fine. I can live with that now. Just when Courthouse says it, I don't know. That's what he says. I'm seeing a common theme here, Jeremy, by the way, for their characters. So I'll go. Okay, so
4 gold, and it's all yours.
I didn't quite get the price before, Martin. Sorry.
They said 4 gold, and if you'd like to haggle, we can always increase the price.
Yeah, 4 gold sounds good.
If you'd like to pay off more of your tax.
I get a hand over 4 gold. Okay.
And he says, Mr. Willie, I can give you mate rates if you'd like.
Just as an aside, what were the repair costs as a total?
He has no idea, just that he's donating all excess into town repairs. Above his normal prices.
Who would know the repair cost?
Most likely the mayor.
Okay, thank you. No, I'm happy to pay full price.
Okay, well, full price is 4 silver.
I give him a gold. Thank you, my friend.
He'll add the rest of that to the repair the town fund.
No worries. Not a problem. Thank you muchly for your help.
Says, hopefully you have a good rest of the day. It's a bit icy out there, so he doesn't understand how you're getting about in bare feet and not worrying about things.
I just don't normally feel the cold, you know. It's all that body hardening I did during my training.
You did hear that you went and met quite the interesting martial artist in Riddleport. What was his name again?
Lobo. I've still got some work I've got to do for him yet. I'm just not sure how to do it. But I'll work it out, I'm sure.
I'm sure a bit of practice will get you everywhere.
Maximum effort. Anyway, I thank him. I turn to Sparky and say, maybe we should go and talk to the mayor.
I think it's a good idea. Because I have a feeling I owe a bit of a debt to this town right now.
Oh, let's go and have a chat now.
Okay, so
I head to the mayor.
You head to the town hall. Well, I look up the town hall page. Okay, so you meet a nice, well-dressed woman known as Kendra Deverin. You've met her before. And she's working away through quite a few different stacks of paperwork as you come in. So, Sir Willie, how are you doing? Oh, you've brought the moving disaster with you.
I bought Sparky, yes. We were told that there's a fund for the repairs to the town.
Yes, she's offered to pay all damages that the dwarf may have inflicted upon the town.
You wouldn't happen to know what the total amount was, would you?
Currently, it's running up to over 5,000 gold.
Heathers.
And that they haven't got all the people coming in to collect the payment for work done.
Wow.
Not to mention emotional damage and
emotion.
lots of work.
You have a character name, Jeremy. I'm just putting it out there.
My character reaches into his pocket, pulls out his bag of money, and drops some platinum pieces on the table and says, I'd like to make a donation if possible. On behalf of both myself and my wife.
You're always welcome to. Your wife has already donated work from the Hell Knights.
This is pure coinage. Unfortunately, I'm not particularly good at repairing things. I'm more the opposite side of the coin.
Well, she did call you eye candy.
The character just sort of looks at her and then sort of blushes.
He doesn't. She sort of shrugs a bit, going, "She's not really into scars, but apparently your wife is."
So I put basically 100 gold worth of platinum on the table.
She thanks you greatly. Notes down that you have done the donation, and she'll make sure that it gets back to your wife that you have done so.
I prefer if you didn't tell my wife. It's a kind of an anonymous donation.
But I don't think she cares what you spend your money on, but she does like it when you're civilly minded.
Now, we get some platinum up and down one of the dungeons we went to recently. Is that right, Mark?
Quite possibly. Do you have it on your character sheet?
Oh, that's
Or
that's the group.
Oh, I caught up to that one.
well, like I wouldn't guarantee it, because I know, like they say, Cordac specifically is not being linking to.
Oh, okay. I think I'm ordering 5 pieces.
To carry everything. So.
I'll rank through my coin sack and I'll whatever platinum I've got, I'll hand over to the mayor too, saying my apologies for all that's happened. Over time, I'll see if I can pay some more money back. Yeah.
You pull your hand out of your coin pouch and you find it's full of rocks.
You're going to give away your pet.
Okay.
No wonder animals don't like you.
Nothing else to give, honestly. I don't think anything else is going to be really good. I don't think a thunderstorm or tanglefoot bag is really going to be helpful.
She looks at your rocks on the table and goes, I don't think they are what you think they are.
No.
I know you're a dwarf and you might think of rocks as valuable, but we can't spend it.
No, look, that's fair. Look, let me get some coin as soon as I can. I'll come over and hand some over for you. I do apologise for this. So, yeah.
And as you drop it back into your pouch, you hear the jingle of coins.
Bloody. Okay. As a person, Mark, not as a character, I'm hating certain devils and demons and things like that right now. So, anyway.
Okay. The character is not hating them?
Because the character hates that there's been more trouble. I know this right now. So, I know a certain DM very well on certain things like that. So, I had to kind of explain myself just to make sure I could just let it out. Okay, I'm good now. So
that's okay. You can say it anyway, and I won't take it badly, I'm sure.
No. So, feel dejected as I slowly leave and feel like crap, and I can't even give him a coin. It's like, yeah. Man, yeah.
But
Okay.
I make it clear to the mayor that we'll do our best to come good on the debt.
And she's always thought highly of Corda and his work for the town. Though Parry apparently still leaves a lot to be desired, he never repaired the damage he caused when he blew up part of the town square.
I know, right? Can't trust that guy. It's just bad news.
Even after congratulated for helping save the town.
Yeah. But I anchor and leave.
Okay. You make it back to the cathedral. By the time you reach there, you see the ice covering Sparky again.
Sparky's wearing the warm weather clothes, yeah?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Have to brush the ice off as you get inside. You're only outside for about 5 minutes.
Can I, while we're walking back, can I go in coin place, pull it out, and put it back in and see that does come out rocks every single time?
Well, you pull out a coin. It looks like a coin in your hand.
What Mark would like to say is it's not to God and damn it, but my character doesn't want to stay there for obvious reasons right now, so...
Does it actually look like a coin to me?
It does, yes.
I sigh heavily going. I shake my head, sigh, realise like if anything I say right now is going to make it worse, and just...
And so, to wind it back a little bit, when you were in there with the mayor, you saw Sparky pull out a purse, pull out some coins, look at them, sigh, and put them back in her purse.
Of course Mark doesn't, yeah. And can't be easy in a life of the cursed world, so yes.
Well, he was asking for more curses before the stream started.
No, that's fair enough, man. I did push the limits on that, so it's okay, yeah.
While you've got the coin in your hand, I'll put my hand out and say, try putting that coin in my hand and we'll see if it turns into a rock.
I do that.
Okay, you put the coin in his hand, and his hand is very hot to the touch to you.
But the coin sits in my hand?
What coin sits in your hand perfectly?
Oh well, I hand coin back and say, I don't know, that's really weird.
Yeah, but I'm used to this recently. Before not. Recently, yes. So, anyway, let's get back to the others. One day I'll work it out and I'll be normal again. I might even have hair. As I say that, and walk back to the cathedral. So.
Normal's overrated.
That's true. We don't want to be on the quarter every day. Yeah, and I'll walk off.
I follow you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you understand.
So the whole way walking back, you watch as Sparky's hunched against the cold wind, blowing towards you both as you just casually stroll back.
Oh, it's going to be a long adventures coming up for me. Don't ask me to save the party at any stage, because I don't think it's going to go well.
And everyone notices when both Sparky and Willie are back, because the really freezing cold wind comes into the cathedral as the door opens, and you see a frozen-looking Sparky stagger in, and Willie just calmly walk in and close the door. Still dressed in his summer clothing.
Yes, it's cold outside. I go close to the closest fire just to warm myself up a little bit.
I immediately thought along with that mark was there's no kind of atmosphere.
Yes, as you're warming up by the fire, you see what appears to be a whole bunch of torture implements sitting next to it in a rack.
I've seen these videos before, haven't I?
Your previous character has?
Oh, I know. When I walked in on somebody recently.
You never got to see the full everything.
Oh. And I just look back at Willie. Well, it's tougher than I thought. And I just say to myself, so, yeah. Just warming up while the rest of the party can chat. So.
So everyone's watching Sparky start to thaw in front of the fire.
We already had to check out the sawmill.
Well, you're about to head off and check the sawmill?
Yeah.
They caught up asking me. Now that I look back, having not been prepared appropriately. Because you'll notice that Cordar's not actually wearing particularly heavy clothing. He's taking advantage of the fact that his sword gives him the endure elements every day. I think he can still go around in his nice metal suit without applying in too much.
So yes,
with these very expensive silk underwear. It can't be seen.
Okay, so all of you start to rug up, except for Willie. And you see he has the owl with him, and a big black cat.
Ah, Kitty came with me. Awesome.
Well, he was waiting in the cathedral until you were ready to go do something interesting.
When I'm pretty certain Cordar had seen Billy walking around before, because we walked together earlier, how far did the apparent lack of hail and things like that extend around Willie?
From what you can tell, it doesn't. It just didn't strike him.
Okay.
It's like, you know, how some people just are so lucky nothing seems to touch them.
Okay, yeah.
There's no special field around him where nothing gets hit. It's just that if you put your hand up where he is, your hand will be hit.
Okay. Okay. Corda will mention seeing the owl on the shoulder type stuff that the bird may not appreciate the weather or the daylight. Get to leave in the warmth inside.
Supposedly I'm supposed to take the bird with me wherever I go, so...
Your lovely wife did name it for you.
Oh, really? What did you call it?
Oversight.
Oversight. I thought that was just the purpose as opposed to the name.
No, that was the name.
Okay. You forget you couldn't be both?
Yeah, true.
Well, for your convenience, it's also got up there as an NPC with the name, with the purpose of Watcher. So there's a nice looking owl there in the party for you.
So, Sparky, well, we can't really shove it in the bag because I don't think it'll like that. So, let's just let it do what it has to do. If it gets wet, it gets wet, I suppose.
I just looked at picturing the owl and thinking, hey, is that the expression that Sparky suggested that she couldn't make?
Pretty much. And I thought it was interesting that I picked that out of all the different owl pictures as the one to use.
Yeah. Well, okay. Cordo is certainly not concerned. He's, as far as he's concerned, he's done his due diligence to look after, to also maintain the awareness of dumb beasts. And he's happy to be leading the others towards the sawmill.
Okay.
And he'll go for holding his shield above his head, just make a bit blacker on the thing, but it's still hailing, that is.
It's not hailing at the moment, it's just a cold, frigid wind.
It's cold, yep. Oh, that's right then.
The sort of wind that it builds frost up wherever it's hitting.
Okay, Cordar's got endure elements all active.
So you're feeling pretty toasty as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lead them up the road about an hour to the sawmill.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those places that they don't have inside town for the purpose of noise, smell, and convenience. And it's a multi-story complex near the river.
Does it look
Presumably it tends to be shut down during winter.
So, what was that, Em?
I was asking if it looked much different from when we were here last.
There's lots of ice around.
Awesome.
After the hailstorm, it's a winter wonderland, and the river itself has frozen over.
Lovely.
The sort of weather you don't get back home.
No, User's not enjoying it at all, probably.
Sparky is, definitely.
At least you can quite easily walk across the river. And you can say, look, I'm walking on water.
I'll get a dice ready just in case. I'm prepared for the worst.
Would you like to do something different?
No. I'll do what the party's doing. But I'm prepared for the worst.
Or would the party like to do something different? Would the party like to use bridges or just walk across the frozen river?
Well, as far as Cordo is concerned, he would be aiming to continue to follow the path, which would presumably take the bridges to the mill. Because he didn't bring his skates. I would expect that walking across the river is, well, not particularly a worthwhile exercise, but you've got a lovely bridge to walk across anyway. But at least the barriers on the side you can hang on to the bridge simply.
Okay, so as you're going across the bridge, I will get everyone but Willie to make a reflex saving throw. Or an athletics check or acrobatics check if you'd prefer.
Both the same, actually.
Well, I got 26 on athletics.
I will keep this dice for the rest of the night. A 31 on reflex. Or acrobatics, they're the same.
Have 31 upgraded?
No, it's 31. Had 2 more points to get upgraded.
And what about M?
I've wasted my natural 20 for the day. Nat 20, so plus 14, so that's 34. Oh, for athletics.
Okay, so as you start to go across the bridge, you find that the wood itself is extremely icy. And you slip and slide, and you watch as Duza does this amazing slide across the bridge and down the other side. Of course, he meant to do that the entire time. Slowly followed by Sparky, who manages to spin a little bit, even though it looked a little ungainly, but made it to the other side.
Yeah, that's enough.
And then you're seeing both Willie and Cordar gingerly move across, though Willie doesn't seem to slip at all. And you find yourself not too far from the sawmill.
I high-five my great half-orc friend on the way past.
You're in the low 5.
Oh,
So
jeez.
you slap do all basically.
Yeah, I'll do that then. Yeah, let's see what actually. Why not? Why not? What could make it worse? 2 dogs champion once? Okay.
Well, there's no parry around, so obviously you can change targets.
And if she gives me a really bad look, I said, it's the parry in me that caused this. So. So I can make parry.
I mean, they probably don't even notice, to be honest. Too cold.
Probably no. Yes.
Okay, so you go to slap Doozer on the butt, and your hand sticks.
And of course it would. Oh, should have known better.
Apparently there was ice on your glove that you got from the railing, and now it's stuck to Doozer's backside.
Well, can I attempt to take this trickery roll, see if I can break the actual seal off and keep the gloves around?
Sure, I'm sure Doozer will not be surprised at all when you start pulling out a dagger and aiming for his backside.
I'm just going to do it without using the dagger right now first time.
Thieves' tools?
So I'm using my thievery kind of. I use my thievery as a sleight of hand kind of thing. See what I do there?
So you're going to try to steal the butt? Steal the pants off Doozer?
I think you put words on out there. I want to just somehow take my hand and the glove off Doozer in a way that doesn't disturb Doozer too much. Okay? That's why I call it sleight of hand. I thought that was really well. Is that acceptable or not? So.
It is interesting.
It's not acceptable at all.
I know, yeah, I'm talking to the DM here first. I have to deal with you afterwards. But, yeah.
Sure, give me a sleight of hand check against Doozer's passive perception.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Which is 10 plus your perception.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find what my perception is. It's plus 11.
Perception complete at the start of the character sheet.
Yeah, no, I was blind.
It's all that ice.
I got it. I've got a 31 total.
Okay, so yes, you've managed to get the glove away with a piece of Dooza's pants.
Breezy.
I walk away like nothing happened. So.
And as you walk past, Dooza starts to feel a bit of a chill coming in from behind. Obviously, you of course a cold shiver to go down his back.
I can't get it to you. Sorry.
Just grabbing my coffee.
It's too pain.
That's okay.
Never thought holding a cup of coffee would be so hard. Thank you. I was doing alright until then.
I was waiting for the right one of the dice, by the way, where I actually stuck your half hard or something like that, but it didn't work out. Too high roll. So, anyway.
I was going to say, why?
So yes, Dooza does notice that there is a slight breeze that's quite freezing on his backside.
He'll probably try to like patch it or cover the hole if he notices the hole. And
Yeah, apparently you've taught it somewhere along the way.
yeah, I must have torn it on that rickety bridge when I was sliding around.
Right, I've heard enough.
I'll start whistling there for a second, but I thought I better not, so I didn't want to start whistling in front of you. But that make it too obvious, so. But I refrain to make eye contact with Dooza for at least 5 minutes just to make sure that I get caught out. So.
Dooza probably doesn't even notice.
No, you probably notices it all, actually, I would say. Yeah.
Well, you've rolled well at like
Yeah.
probably
Critical success.
critical success over my passive perception, so.
And you see next to the mill is standing one of the sheriffs of Sandpoint, Sheriff Hemlock.
Okay.
Nice and imposing, Shoanti lawkeeper.
Probably
Or
agree.
company up and talk to Sheriff Hemlock and confirm the situation. Yeah, like I said, the fact that the sheriff and the lawkeepers are happily working with the Hell Knights on A, investigating, and B, trying to keep the murders secret.
Well, their job is to keep the riffraff out. And no sideline look at Sparky, of course.
And so is he happy enough for us to be involved at this stage? Has he been told or aware that we're involved?
Well, he was told that some investigators were going to be called in. He's happy at least he knows one of you. Fondly.
Who does he know well?
Well, he's been in Sandpoint for quite a while, so he knows Cordar very well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Come up, Boyle come talk to him and say, yep, oh well, what do you think? It's good to see good people on the job. So, and so we understand there's been, well, this is the cycle from most recent, or least recent, most now coming out, events. Is there, have you been involved in investigation?
His stomach's not strong enough to look at what they've been doing. He's glad he's got some hardy people here. He looks at all of you going, did you eat before coming?
No.
Probably a good thing, he says.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The bodies that were found here had been taken to the temple, had they?
They had, but the smell remains.
Ah, okay, right.
Yeah.
I would have thought the cold would have helped to mitigate the smell, particularly with the wind, but
He would
yes.
too, but they've kept it closed up, so any evidence would still be there.
Okay.
Is that okay?
So, unfortunate for you, you had to be out here in this weather and this conditions to honour the Messiah.
Well, I could have been inside, but I chose to stand outside. You'll find out as you go in, he says.
Okay.
At which point he opens the door and you get a whiff of carrion coming out of the room.
Okay. Cordar's happy to leave the door open momentarily for things to with Sheriff. So, was there anything found other than the bodies, or has any investigation in this area been done as yet?
Well, they saw what appeared to be some form of ritual, so they decided to just lock the place up and preserve this site because all the other sites had been destroyed by the weather.
That will be most advantageous, I'm sure.
But the last thing we'd want to do is destroy the only site that was unaffected by the weather.
And how long ago we think it happened for the murders happened at this site?
About 2 months.
Because this was the first, we worked out this was the first site, wasn't it? Even though the most recent bodies found.
Yes, this was the first site, and it was the amongst the last bodies found.
Yeah, okay. Okay. In which case, but I will, if no one else has gone in or done anything yet, Cordar will activate his Wayfinder to provide some light and step into the threshold. Probably holding his breath somewhat initially, but or breathing shallowly.
As you step in, you feel as if your Wayfinder is giving off a brown light. And then you realise it's not brown light, that's just blood everywhere.
I was about to say, he'll do the standard technique on a torch of tap, 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 tap. Blood everywhere, huh?
And I'll have everyone make a fortitude saving throw.
Yoki?
Yeah.
Let's do it for a good roll.
That's that one for me.
They're considering Willie's pastime. Willie gets a advantage on the check.
Then I'm going to get to roll twice and
Take the best.
yes. 14 so far. And a 13. So that's 27.
27. How about Sparky?
17?
17.
Yeah.
How about Duza?
18.
And how about Cordar?
24.
Well, at least two of you managed to keep everything inside, as you see both Sparky and Duza turn extremely green and rush out throwing up outside.
Have no fear, the buffest wizard is here.
I'm glad that they did not mess up the crime scene further.
So,
We'll see what Arthur's wizard does.
so introducing Josh.
G'day, I'm Josh, and I play Harry Potter, the buffest wizard known to man.
Could Parry give us a fortitude saving throw, please?
Harry is fucked.
See, Harvey is better to me. I rolled a 5.
Yeah, but your fort save will be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, my full save would be better, but I still rolled a 5.
21 for parry.
Okay, so Perry just watches as the burly half-orc and the hairless dwarf rush past you and start throwing up outside.
You got this. That's my sound effect, thank you.
Very apt.
So, as you're having a look around, I will get someone to make a occult check.
I can probably do it. Occultism. Plus 16. Knowledge is power.
Assume the people outside can't really make this, right?
Well, you didn't get to see much before the smell overwhelmed you.
That's cool. So double check.
27 for parry. On occultism.
Perry starts describing the various inside body parts that are outside all over the floor and used to paint the walls.
I'm just going to be actually looking for actual useful information and things like that. So.
As he's going through, he continues to describe it as a ritual used to take someone's soul. And so whoever was murdered in this ritualistic way had their soul stolen.
Interesting.
Which means the body can't be questioned, and the person can't be brought back from the dead.
When we were counting the bodies that were found here, these ones had gone through the apparent torture, everything as well, hadn't they?
They had.
Before. Yeah.
Though one of them had been bludgeoned to death.
Right. How many bodies were here?
3.
3 of them. Okay. Do we know anything about the bodies before we got here? Who they were?
2 of them were the millers who normally would be running the logs through the mill, but were caretakers during winter.
Yeah.
They would spend winter doing all the repairs necessary to keep it running the next year.
Yep.
And the other person was Cat. Sorry, just getting the actual name properly. Because they give me the first name, but Katrine Vinder.
Okay.
So the sister of the one that Willie had been giving money to help in Magnamar.
Sister of the mayor.
No, sister of the girl that you rescued from the Thistletop and Willie gave money to in Magnamar.
Oh, Magma, sorry, not Magma.
Mm-hmm.
Is this before Cordar joined this group?
It was just before Cordar joined the group.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's right.
I recognise the name, I take it.
Yep. So remember how you had a young impressionable girl trying to get you to fall in love with her?
Yes.
And then she got taken by a
rescued her
goblin.
family and protected them and all the rest of it.
And it's her sister.
Yeah, okay. Willie looks sadly pissed. Doesn't make squeaking noises.
Was there any evidence at the time as to why she would have been present at the mill?
There was not. Though it was rumoured that she was dating one of the people working there.
The other 2 that were dead?
One of the other 2 that were dead.
Okay.
So just And timing, maybe.
Or
Okay,
perfect
so
timing.
in that case then, yeah. While Harry is examining and interpreting the occult aspects of the site,
Mm-hmm.
Cordai certainly just looking around to see what could be found, what if there things, obvious items or information that may have been missed by the code. They necessarily can't do much investigation because they just got the bodies.
Well, they sent for the people to do the investigation.
Yeah. Go get Cordai, go to start looking around.
They're just looking to, because I know there's a specific feat that helps with some of this.
And the way I look at that part,
Yep.
could I look on the outside where not the bodies are just around the field?
Sure. You're looking around the outside. You can see what appears to be a mini explosion on the ground until you realise that's where what you dumped onto the ice froze on its way down.
I move away from my vomiting areas.
Well, it's now an ice sculpture.
Shit, okay. Holy. There goes my breads and jams this morning. So I'll move around, like just on the outside, just outside of the smell of the smell, and see if I can find anything out the outside. Just do a bit of search around if it's okay.
There's a nice layer of ice on the outside. You put your foot through the layer of snow that's surrounding it.
Yeah, just bringing out the ordinary. They might pick up.
After a few minutes, you notice something completely out of the ordinary. There are dwarf tracks here. Give me a perception roll.
Perception. That's 25.
It takes you a moment before you realise, after you've walked around, that you've come up to your own tracks.
Jeez.
Because there's no other tracks out here besides what the
that's fair enough. I should have expected this. I suppose it'd be a survival check to see if I can see anything else outside my tracks, or I should have known about that from perception.
You would have got that from perception.
Cool, okay.
But that would require there to be no layer of ice that obscures what's on the ground and what you see.
Okay, fair enough.
So inside we have Willie, Parry, and Cordar. What are you doing?
Okay, Cordai's just walking around carefully, looking for evidence of whether we. Obviously, the occurrences in the site, whether or not the trying to find evidence as to whether or not the people had been brought to the site to actually undergo ritual or already here, whether whatever did this to them afterwards.
Okay, I'll give you a
Why a
survival
girl
roll.
might have been there, all those sorts of questions.
I'll give you a survival roll to see if you can understand what the scene looks like. Parry and Willie can also make the same check if they'd like to. Could make a survival check to understand what the meaning behind the tracks in the place are.
Survival.
20 for Cordar.
10. I get nothing.
If Deuce is probably wandered back inside by now, should I make that check as well, Mom?
Yep, give me a check as well.
This one got broken.
26 for Harry.
Let's do the survival roll for you.
Well, it's wisdom based.
That is a good point.
So as Druza walks in, she hears Parry explaining to everyone what's what. As
Josh, the idea that Harry's good at wisdom, have been concerned.
It's not as much as I'm good at wisdom. I'm better at intelligence. Where am I? Yeah, so my intelligence is +5, my wisdom is +4.
Okay.
24 for Duza.
And Duza helps back up Willie's explanations. As between the two of you, you figure out that the two men were doing regular repairs and were caught from behind and then bound up. And after
Harry
they
had nothing to do with this.
after they were captured, then Katrina must have wandered in on the scene and had been thrown against the splitter machine, which had taken off 2 of her limbs before she was bludgeoned to death with what appears to have been a axe. So not the sharp end.
Not the sharp end of an axe.
Yep.
Ouch. That's not a way to go.
And then that was when the two that were tied up were put through the ritual with the remains of Katrina. So all 3 of them had gone through the same ritual.
Can we see any evidence? I'm assuming probably not, because we have all the screen and things like that. And it's something to confirm. If the bodies apparently got done a couple months ago, like towards the beginning of the 3, the mill hasn't been used since then, has it?
It has not, because the people who would open it up and use it were the ones that were taken out.
Yeah. In which case then, okay, corners, and both inside and outside, to see if you can find any evidence of anyone else coming in or out the building.
Well, you do have, between Doozer and Perry, they do point out there are 4 sets of prints, not counting the party who's just walked in.
Okay. Can we get any information about the 4 sets of prints?
It appears to be around the same size as Katrina's footprints, but appears to be deeper set, so a heavier person.
Okay.
So from what they were looking at the tracks, they would say most likely male wearing expensive looking shoes.
This just makes it sound more and more like her brother is doing it.
MK's brother, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because he's pretentious enough to do a ritual sacrifice in like fancy shoes.
And enough to get away with it too.
That's all.
Well, he did help capture a bunch of people to be sacrificed previously.
Did it look like that the you might have said this already, but did it look like that the attacker caught all of them unawares?
It did. Though the one with the Katrina looks like it might have been more mutual surprise, which is why she ended up in the log splitter.
Yep.
This is probably like more likely walking in whoever it was while they were doing something else.
But not enough surprise that she was able to get away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bedroom. Do you need fizzy?
I'm good.
You sure? No food?
I'm good.
Okay.
So, yes, you're sure that she would have surprised whoever was there, but they reacted quickly enough before she could get away.
I'll eventually would join the party inside after getting rid of all my breakfast and Okay. But yeah, I won't do anything else, just go there. And then I shoot everyone else checking things out, so I'll just say.
Yeah, by the time
that
you
was
go
it.
to walk inside, you see that your footprints aren't visible anymore.
Snow outside? Or?
Yep.
Okay. I just say, look, didn't see anything outside of the snow, so but it could have been covered over by the snow, so.
Can Dooza and or Willie, I think it was, or Parry, who've got the like found the 4 section tracks and things like that.
That was Parry and Dooza.
Parry and Dooza. Are they able to follow the tracks towards it all? Like, to see whether or not they all came from up the road from town, or whether
The tracks stop at the edge of the lumber mill because outside it's covered in snow. You can't track anything out there.
and obviously it's been 2 months since they walked along. So.
Weathers has obliterated all that, which is why they have had so much trouble tracking this person. They picked the wet season to do so. Which is quite smart if you're committing all the crimes outdoors.
Does Parry have any idea? You mentioned the fact the ritual was to steal someone's soul, which would prevent them any magical response or things like that. But do you have any concept or idea as to what other physical values that the ritual might involve?
What would Parry like to make up?
What would I like to make up? Would I, like, this is, like, mutually personal, I believe. Yes?
You'd see it as being whoever did this was doing it to either people they knew or to get something specific out of it each time. And it is the sort of thing you would see in packs with demons.
Yeah. Will I explain, like, along the personal level, like, what's the one thing you take from someone? You just probably take, like, their soul and take it basically as a memento and give it to, or be in relation with a demon of some description.
Mm-hmm. In that case, I guess Corner, having searched the mill from top to bottom to his perspective, if there's nothing more to find, spend a couple of hours looking around, seeing what's there.
So while you're having a look around there, I will give everyone a perception check.
Discussion. Discussion. On standard. That's 20.
Nice.
So that gives me 29.
Mm-hmm. 29 upgraded.
Corner on 10, downgraded.
I was about to say, it couldn't be any worse than Paris, but never mind. Parry got a 16.
Okay, Parry got a 16.
Yes.
And what did Dooza and Sparky get?
25.
You know, some people are just not paying as much attention to the boys as what Parry and Quarter are doing at the moment.
No, the battle ready people are the ones who actually know the shit.
No, listen, we're face deep in boys at the moment. We're just like,
No, Corder paying close attention. He's found this off-cut piece of wood that's obviously a vital clue.
oh, here we go.
Okay, so as you pick up these off-cut piece of wood, how do you describe it to everyone?
I've heard how this goes. This rock will save our universe.
You match up that piece of wood to the person, and it will show you exactly who the killer was.
No. Quarter, he's come up with some theory about the idea of, this piece of wood was obviously knocked down from that high shelf up there when the killer climbed down through the chimney type from the ceiling.
Okay, so as you see him pointing and gesturing and discussing things, you sort of realize that the piece of wood he's picked up is glowing somewhat.
Oh.
And then, while he's gesturing and pointing with the piece of wood, I will say that we have in the background, Duza is noticing that Parry has his ring also light up and a pendant he's wearing.
No.
And then I will mention that Willie also notices that with those things lighting up, he can see similar symbols lighting up all around the lumber mill.
Oh, what? Alright.
And Willie recognizes it as the symbol for the Sin of Wrath.
I basically toe on Parry's robe and point and go, that's bad, right? That's really bad, yeah? I get silence from Parry. That's even worse, yeah?
So is this in relation to the piece of wood?
Well, the piece of wood has lit up, so obviously it's got something wrong with it. That maybe Cordar has become possessed by the wood.
No. Lily also pointed out that your ring and necklace and runes around the room are all lighting up.
Oh, swanky. Love it.
I'm working on the idea that Cordar probably climbed onto the rafters to find this piece of wood that's going through, so...
So while Cordar's climbed up into the rafters, and he can't seem to find exactly where this piece of wood came from.
He took over what the ancient point for the killer was. It must be up here somewhere.
As he looks down, he notices that the entire party is standing on what appears to be a very large symbol of wrath made out of blood and entrails on the ground.
Oh, it's really not good.
Well, I'm happy that Cordar's a little bit behind, so it might take him a moment to warn the others that, look, I see him up here, consider the fact that the circumstance put him up there, so the others have got time to react to the fact that things split up. Not recognise the wrath of wood on the ground yet, though.
And by the time he looks down, he notices that there's also one on the bit of wood he's holding.
You okay, Cordar?
So Cordar sort of almost finished the explanation about the fact that, let's go there and he's looked down for...
Is there any...
the wrath symbols we've found so far we found them Sandpoint. It was also wrath that was in the crow, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
And what were you saying, Em?
Is there any reaction we can make, like to get out of the circle? Or to jump out? Or is it too big to sort of jump out of?
It's not a circle, it's just a big symbol.
Oh, it's just a big symbol.
And you could easily just take a couple of steps to go off the side of it. It's just really long.
Well, and technically, you may have already scuffed it up a little bit by unless you were carefully not stepping in his blood or things like that. So, but by the sound of it, not stepping in blood would have been a challenging side here.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, so Corda, okay, holding the wood, he's now pointing down the ground saying, guys, we've got definite influence of Queen Math.
And from this perspective,
Yeah.
all the wall paintings that were done were in this symbol as well. Just you had to have a high enough perspective to see it.
I find it amusing that my natural one description suddenly ends up with something information worthwhile.
Well, I always make it, if you can describe something interesting, your one can be worthwhile.
But yeah, so he's pointing out the fact that, hey, yep, there's rat wounds all over the place, including a large one on the ground that you're standing on.
Wrath marks the spot.
I'll do my best to get out to not be standing on it any longer.
Juice will do the same.
Yeah, but as careless as I am, I definitely going to need additional stuff.
Well, how bad could it be?
Enough that they can't cancel each other out, sure.
Nice seeing that being the case, Jeremy. Really just can't.
So from Paro's perspective, that means that the demons of wrath consumed the souls of those who died.
Ooh. So the souls have gone. Or does Parry believe that if we kill the demon, then we get the souls back?
You don't get the souls back even if you kill the demon.
Alright.
It's like if you've seen someone eat something, and then after they've eaten it about a week later, kill them to remove what they ate.
And we waited at least a day and we pooped the souls out.
In this case, they waited at least 2 months.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You may be able to save the last one that they
I'll let
did.
everyone know that these souls are being consumed and that unfortunately they're not coming back.
So what shaft we have people at the moment is greed and
Pride.
Green
pride. Okay.
So Cordo's got greed and Harry's got pride.
And David's character had pride, did he?
He had pride previously, but he gave it up.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Just trying to get my head right.
Yeah. David gave it to me and I gave it to Gordon.
Okay, so because Harry did have greed,
Yeah.
but then yes, we had to shuffle things around. So I noted the piece of off-cut that he found that apparently has the rune on it. The other places then, or other items, as to how many individual small items have got a whole rune on them.
It seems
As
to
opposed
be...
to generically the floor and the walls and things like that.
Well, it looks to be 7 rooms specifically placed, with
Okay.
one being in the center of the floor, the one you picked up, and another a few on the walls and on items around.
I asked Parry, should we disrupt this? Should we do something to make it not be symbols of wrath?
Well, so Corda also got a so I think it's 23 Chisholm, untrained except for Pathfinder proficiency. Thinking back that he picked up one of the 7, did he think that's actually what caused all the others to suddenly light up in some way? Like
I'm sure he
moved
does.
it, or
I'm sure it's all to do with him, he believes. Whether it's true or not remains to be seen.
They a bit of focus the idea that the connection between Kordak picking up this one and causing all of them to light up, whether or not it affected movement of it, or like disruption of the layout, or possibly body warmth, touch type stuff, is what caused it. Yeah.
Quite possibly. You also see that there are 2 lit up on Parry besides the 7.
Do that up on me.
Presumably not. Presumably ones that have been there all the time. We're saying not ones that apparently. We're not thinking the murderer painted Parry in blood without him knowing he was wearing it for like 2 months.
He has a pendant with the 7 symbols on it, but the symbol of Wrath is lit up on the pendant.
Ah, yes.
And he has a ring with the symbols on it, and the Wrath symbol lit up on that too.
That's right. I don't remember.
Okay.
So it may also have been Parry who set it off.
Could be.
But of course it was Corda because he picked up that piece of wood. That must be it.
Obviously the piece of wood was the rifle flue. We already discussed that.
I will mention to Willie. I'm unsure whether we can stop this.
Remember, you're prideful. You should be sure.
No, yeah, sorry.
Of course I can do it.
I'm very certain that I don't think there's much that we can do in terms of what's being lit up at the moment. I mean, you could definitely try to scrub off some of the markings, but I don't know if I believe that won't do anything.
At least it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting we should burn it all down.
Actually, that went through Willie's head.
I was about to say.
We burned the place down.
Well,
Well,
not burn down the mill.
well, trust me, I reckon I could.
I mean,
That sounds like a challenge to me, Cordar.
I heard that challenge. I'll back you up on this, Willie.
Sparky already owes enough to the town
I know, right?
without causing
Listen, hang on. Is this supposed to be the town or is this outside the town?
This is part of the town. It's part of the major industry of the town.
Willie, I can't be associated with this. I can't be associated with it.
It would set you back another 20,000 odd to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we're just pretty high as it is, so yeah.
I'm going to do my best.
The whole reason that we're coming in to investigate is so they can try and make sure the mill is operational again as soon as possible after when the weather clears.
So Willie wants to burn it down?
No, Willie wants to try to deface the runes in some way.
What are you going to use?
I'm going to initially start with the blood.
So you're going to use your own blood?
No, I'm going to try to avoid that. Although I think at some point it might become out of my control. I'm going to use water to start with to try to wash away parts of the rune that's made out of blood. And any of the ones that are on the wall, if I can't wash them away, I'll try for one on the wall, and I'll, having used my tiger stance, I'll use my key strike to try to damage it using positive energy.
Okay, so you pour water out of your water skin onto the one on the floor, and you notice the water stays inside the rune.
Inside?
Yep.
Can I, using my, because this is just the smartest thing to do, using a cloth or something that I've got, actually using part of my warm weather gear that I just recently bought, use the water to try to scrub the rune away.
Okay, as you scrub, the rune starts to glow brightly.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
You know what you should do?
I'm looking at
You
Harry.
scrub harder and get angry about it. That's sure that'll work.
My character's angry already. My character's ready to start killing people right now.
Give me a wisdom saving throw as you're doing this. Will saving throw.
As soon as we walked in and I found out that who'd been killed, my character was going, I'm going to be killing people very shortly. Come on. I fail horribly. 5 on the dice, which makes it an 18.
Okay, so
No, makes it a 16, even worse.
so as you start scrubbing it hard and hard, the rune starts to light up on fire.
What, fire?
Real fire.
Oh shit. Okay, well, I stopped because I don't want to burn to death.
Cold weather gear is also alight.
That's okay, I'll drop that. Sacrifice was made.
Okay. And you see it sort of just drift across into the wall.
Okay.
All I can leap down from the rafters to try and start in the fire squirting. I said no fire!
I didn't use fire. I look at Parry. Come on, man, help me!
Okay, so give me a acrobatics roll from the rafters.
Acrobatic roll from the rafters.
Well, that's quarter I was talking. T9.
What did you get? 29.
29.
Okay. So you leap down to grab it as it seems to just dodge out of your way. It seems to have a mind of its own as it hits the rune on the wall and it lights up in flame as well.
Okay, Cordo basically, he was jumping down so he could start effectively beating out the fire.
And as you're looking at it, there doesn't seem to be anything burning but the flames coming up out of the rune.
Alright, I'm going to move over to a rune that's on the wall.
Yep.
And I'm going to use time style. I'm going to slash at the rune, trying to destroy it, using my key strike for positive energy. I'm trying to use something that I think will disrupt it, and I strike it with a flurry of blows.
Give me an attack roll.
Right.
What was Perry saying?
Does Perry believe this is magical?
He believes some magical effect is happening, yes.
Some magical effect is happening.
You're not sure if it's positive or negative. Give me an occult check.
Occult check? Yeah, sure.
Well, I've made my choice regardless.
Yeah.
So that's what the hell is that?
32.
13 and how was that? And an 18. So I don't have my gloves. What do I get?
So it should be at least 7 plus your strength or dexterity.
14, 14, 20, 27, and 32.
So 2 definite critical hits on the wall. As Parry, looking down at it, you don't think the runes are responding as you would expect.
Yeah.
This is not the runes activating, this is something different.
Alright.
Do I worry about damage?
As you strike it with your positive energy, you see, as you hit the rune just immediately bursts into flame, as does all the other runes around the place, including the one that Cordar's holding.
Alright, Parry's gonna yell out, stop.
I do? Okay. Oh, I'm making it worse.
And Parry's going to cast a spell magic on the fire.
Okay. Give me a
I'll be back.
check.
Yeah, a counteract check. Which is, I think, my spell DC? Or spell attack?
Spell attack, I believe.
Yes. Uh, 31.
31. Okay, so targeting what specifically? Because there are 7 runes.
Oh, I was. Okay, there's 7 runes. Is there like a big main rune?
The big one in the
or-
center of the floor, yes.
Yes, I will target that.
Okay, so you target that one, and you believe that you've taken out whatever magic's affecting it, but it's still burning, and then you notice that Cordar's managing to put out flame in one section of it by stamping it out.
Okay. Which is a better result too.
But the point being the fact that, like, what you may have been aware of the fact that Cornar's initial thought, hang on, it's not going out even though stamping on it, but apparently now it's going out. So
Yeah.
And
so Cornar's certainly going to be, yeah.
And by the time Cordo finishes stamping out the floor, the walls go out.
Yeah.
And you see just scorch marks all around the inside of the place.
Yeah.
Go on, Harry. Good job.
If you gave me like 30 seconds to get my head around what's going on.
Hey, you've got a mouth, you can use it, you often use it. You just didn't use it this time.
Cordo's looking at really
Oh, hang on, wait a minute.
We're not burning the place.
I didn't want to burn the place. But we had to do something.
So why did you choose burning?
Why did you choose burning?
Okay. Why did you choose to directly interact with the runes?
Normally when you break up a rune, it stops working.
And you have successfully broken up all 7 runes.
See? So the plan was sound, just the method wasn't particularly good.
So at this point, you think you probably want to leave before you start choking.
Yes.
Cordo's also curious is the fact that your scorch marks on the walls, are they now effectively marking out the Wrath of Rune, or are they just seemingly more just fairly generic scorch marks?
Well, they're more generic scorch marks because they go up the wall instead of just along the wall.
A 23 on perception, which I'm assuming is using the insight type effect, looking at Willie, saying, interact with the runes of wrath when you're angry.
As you're looking at him, you can also see that around him the ground seems to be sizzling slightly.
Yes. Get out and cool off.
I go over to the door with the storm outside, open it up, so that the wind will wash away all the smoke and burnt smell, hopefully.
I follow Willie.
Yep. You get a face full of ice in your face as Willie steps outside.
Yeah. Still, my main focus is examining Willie, possibly for another shard.
Well, as you're looking at him, you see that everywhere he's stepping, the ice is melting.
Willie, don't take this the wrong way.
What?
I need to examine your body. I need you to get naked.
Don't. What?
Okay.
We're friends, but not that kind of friends.
It was going to follow on from Cordo's reaction to cool off.
I am married.
I will ask you, do you feel something different on any part of your body?
No.
How about now?
He puts his hand on me like that.
Can I visually see a possible shard with him with clothing still on?
He doesn't seem to have one. You would see the shape of it in the arm.
Okay.
Because most people can't put it elsewhere.
You can see the ring and the dagger that he's carrying, part of the items that glowed.
But they're on Parry, not Willie.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Cordo's aiming to stay in the mill as much as possible, assuming that if the smoke gets too bad, it'll move up, but basically to double check to make sure that there's not actually any fire or embers still hot.
Well, as you see the cold wind come in, any embers just snuff out straight away. It's so cold.
Happy with that. Happy with that.
Once the smoke is cleared, I'll close the door again. Come on out with it, wizard. What's going through your
I'm
head?
trying to check on Willie to know if any kind of magical crap's happening.
Something magical is happening.
Yeah, something, well, yes. I know something magical is happening, but I'd like to do an arcana check to try and use my brain and my vast knowledge to pinpoint what is actually happening to it.
Okay, I'll make it a religion check.
Religion check, even better. Religion. Not as better, but still somewhat good. 27.
Okay, by the looks of things, Willie may have appeased and gotten a boon from some god. Not sure which one, because you're not sure which god would give someone some sort of fiery sort of temperament.
That's fine. I just said to Willie, you've made some deity very happy.
It's probably about the time the quarter comes out and comes over to Willie and says, "You're dealing with runes of sin. Control your emotions."
Because I haven't sinned, so I'm awesome. Not yet, at least.
Where you around them.
But I plan on it.
Sorry, okay.
I said not yet, but I plan on it.
But you do notice that there is a radiating heat around him, almost like he's a red-hot ember.
What I'm saying, you've got to control your emotions when you're around the room. Particularly, in this case, rune of wrath. Don't hang around when you're angry. Very simple. Control your emotions. I mean, even right now, it's clearly you're still all heated up.
By the way, Porter, what is this magical piece of wood you've got?
He's got a burnt stump at the moment.
Oh. Oh, that's right, yeah.
It was one of the markers that had the runes. However, when Willie decided to activate all the runes, it burnt up. Fortunately, we were able to keep it out of the rest of the sawdust and everything like that to mean that the mill wasn't burnt up.
Mm.
Because your work was suppressing the effect. I find it amusing that all companies speechless before I can take it.
Everyone apparently is looking around a bit stunned.
Yeah, Harry's looking around going, I don't believe this word actually means anything. And being caught out of the monster.
Right, the Cordo's happy to agree that the piece of wood is useless now because it's a piece of, well, actually not entirely useless. On the walls of the mill, it's a piece of charcoal. I'm sure it can make some black writing.
Could be the murder weapon. Could be the handle of the axe.
No, I'm confident he's got the murder weapon. There's the girl was hit by the wood splitter after being bashed with the axe.
No, the wood's bloodder than the axe.
Yeah. And the others, well, based on what we saw carved into them, or out of them, I don't think it was a piece of wood. It did the job. you're thinking that to do this sort of ritualistic activity, they must have had a personal connection to the victims.
I believe that the whole scenario is nothing but personal, because why would you take something that a single individual is most drawn to or basically live?
Well, perhaps we want to find out whether or not any of these three had particular enemies or friends. Presumably focusing more on the males, because it looked like female victim was more potential or opportunistic. Is that right?
It sounds like the female is more used to seeing something.
Yeah, like she just happened to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. So.
Pretty much. Because if they're not, if she had an assault, but her basically her innards weren't strewn upon the brass symbol or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't actually designed to be part of the ritual.
So which means that whoever possibly, like, picking brains of actual psychopaths, whoever possibly did that, they probably had a stronger connection to the female than they did the males. They've respected the female's body compared to the lumberjacks.
But they still carved into the female's body.
Oh, sorry, they still carved into the female body.
They carved into all of them.
It's just all personal.
So that the male ones were carved into while they were living and show some sign of the wounds healing, whereas the female one was all after death.
God.
And presumably, the parts of the female body that was available left after the launch clears were affected had been carved into it. So, which how we know that it was post-mortem, because if it had been before the launch clear, the market probably would have been cut up.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that next investigation would be to try and find out who knew these people, good, bad, or indifferent. I guess we're, unless they're people that Corda knew from childhood and growing up, but without any other specific personal connection, if anyone doesn't know them. We're talking to other workers at the mill, or the owner of the mill, to see what we know about them, who they were, who they associated with, those sorts of things. Is that reasonable?
Remembering the notes that you looked at previously, I'll give your character an intelligence check.
That's something that maybe Corda mentioning that it might be worthwhile doing might prompt other people to think about this. Because Corda, intelligence, I.
I was about to say, Harry's willing to do some of the thinking too.
Okay,
Corda trying to throw out ideas on how we can go further from here. And possibly hit on one, but not enough for him to think of go through.
I'll give Parry an intelligence check as well.
Just 5 intelligence?
Yep.
21.
21. Okay, so remembering half the stuff that Corda was reading out when examining the bodies, you realise that someone by the name of Benny Harker, who also worked at the mill, had been found about a week previous to those found in the mill, but had died around the same time, but was left outside in a swamp nearby. So you have a feeling that she might have been trying to meet up with this other person, or he might have been trying to meet up with her, and they were both waylaid at different places.
Yeah.
But the
Harker was... What was Harker's connection with the three?
Harker also worked at the mill,
Okay,
but his body turned up in the swamp nearby.
Okay.
And he was assumed to have been killed by other things until they had started other bodies turning up.
Mm-hmm. Well, possibly how many people work at the mill?
3.
We might be narrowing down our suspects here. We just want 3 of the employees. If they go more people
That's,
work there, hey,
that's
we
all,
might
that's
have a
all the
point.
employees according to Martin.
Well, there were 3 employees who work in general besides the owners, and the owners never worked there. They hired other people to do it for them.
Okay. Alright. What do we know about the owners?
I was going to say, it's all the front, it's all the owners.
The owners are basically they have no idea how to do physical labor. You've never heard of them actually doing anything besides asking other people to do stuff for them.
Okay.
And they work in the they don't work. They live in a mansion on the bluffs overlooking Sandpoint. They don't actually live in Sandpoint itself.
Okay. Is the mill the only industry they own?
No, they own probably about an eighth of Sandpoint.
Okay. And are they considered good people to work for, or bastards, or?
Let's just say Scrooge McDuck might have his work cut out for him.
So
They're not the person you want to work for. They're the people you have to work for.
So yes, if someone's going to go on a murder spree, you'd think it was more likely they'd go for them rather than for their workers.
Yep. And so far as you know, not one of those penny pinching bastards got touched. And they were also investigated by the Rose Kenobi, who basically was able to say without a doubt they weren't involved, they're idiots, in her report.
Okay. When we're saying they, how many are we talking about here?
3 inbred members, as she puts it. You've got enough intelligence with them combined to probably do a speak with animals.
And yet they're enough to be, or at least have been lucky enough to have had enough money to own significant industry in town and property.
When the eldest member of the family still alive took over, they owned they owned a third of the town.
Okay, so certainly, the new management has not been profitable for the overall family holdings. So, do we know anything? So I'm guessing that Corner probably knows his family then, or at least knows of them. Understand.
He does know of them, and while it's very hard to actually trick them, the hardest part about trying to trick them is them understanding what you're trying to tell them to do.
Okay.
No one knows how they've still got money.
Right. From what Corner knows of them, do they have any redeeming features?
Yes, they eventually die. You've outlived at least one of the family members.
Yeah.
There was a celebration that night.
Well, okay, so I'm assuming that these are all, are we talking all male?
Male and female.
Okay.
Like I said, they keep it in the family.
Yeah, okay, so we're talking, so the current scions of this family are inbred siblings.
Yep.
Did were the parents or the previous generation better business person people?
That they've been getting progressively stupider, that's correct.
Right, okay.
They're expecting the next generation not to be able to figure out how to open doors.
Probably safer for the world. I suspect that they might be our next port of call, really. Well, actually, no. The other bodies, although generally found out in farmhouses and the swamp planet outside, weren't they?
They were generally found exposed to the elements. You think that they were worked on somewhere private and then left out in the elements.
Okay. So effectively, would the mill be would work out to be the closest?
Closest to Sandpoint.
Yeah.
But the others may have been closer, just that the bodies were not found closer.
Right, but I'm assuming that it doesn't mean that and the other victims, I guess that's going to be, were they particularly, were they workers at owned by this family?
No. Most of them were farm hands that were travelling through, or just travellers.
Okay.
The ones at the mill here were the only townsfolk who were actually caught up in it.
Okay. And so yeah, so from the victims had so far, these are the only ones that have effectively any direct relationship or connection with this scions or Sandpoint industry. Is that right?
That is correct. And to put it into perspective for you, they were the Scarnettis, who want to think of themselves as the nobility of Sandpoint, as well as being on the fringes of the Pathfinder Society as well.
Scarnetti. As opposed to the Scarnesi lodge.
Well, they don't pronounce it correctly.
Well, are they the sorts of people, the three that are living, are they the sorts of people that tend to still dress well, i.e. the fine shoes that we saw as one of the prints?
You're not sure? You've never actually seen them out and about in town for about 10, 20 years?
Okay.
You'll be surprised if they knew how to lace up shoes.
I'm thinking that there's probably not much more investigation out here right now. It might be easy to go back in town, although other sites are going to be going back out again, but I'm not certain of the dexterity of trying to do any down thought processes out here in the elements, or even inside the mill. So I'm suggesting that we head back to town, discuss the issue we found, and mention to the sheriff, that yes, as far as where, there's nothing more. There's no reason why the bill can't be opened again, but at least in winter, at the end of winter. However, do you know if there's been any investigation of the Scarnettis?
He looks at you going, well, maybe one of their uncles might have the brains to do something, but he doesn't believe the local lot have enough together to actually cause a problem.
Standing as well, but just see if they have been considered.
Well, he's heard that they've got a famous uncle somewhere to the south. He's not sure where. They brag about him all the time.
Okay. In that case, then, yeah, I'm thinking we head back to town and then review the notes as to where bodies were found. Again, may have been moved, but see whether there's any correlation on that map of all bodies to the Scarnetti homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly noting the apparent date for order in which they were killed, as opposed to found. Just to see whether or not there's evidence or suggestion that, oh, hang on, yeah, maybe they are radiating out from that particular site. Yeah, either way, I'm thinking
Have
that.
you already looked into the pattern of if there was a pattern?
You did. You had looked into the pattern. He wants to look at it again, thinking he'd missed something.
Well, like with the addition of the fact that, well, hang on, if the Scarnettis were involved, that changed the pattern or crystallised the pattern anyway. So.
I just thought it was.
Okay, so while Cordar's going through looking at the bodies and the notes again to remind himself, considering he forgot previously, Willie is approached by Rose.
How can I help you, my love?
I've got some information for you.
Excellent.
We've got a witness
A witness?
by the name of Grace Sevilla.
Grace Sevilla. The
Not
name doesn't ring any bells.
Won't ring any bells in him anymore either. Something has sucked most of his sanity, is the best way to put it, out of the back of his head.
And yet he's a witness.
He's still got the runes carved into him, so he was there during one of those events.
I will tell the rest of our group and we can question this person, perhaps.
Yes, they've taken him to a sanatorium nearby.
Is there a sanatorium in town?
Not in town, in the... there's a sanatorium out in the areas nearby. They don't like to have screaming people in town.
You didn't realise there was enough people to have screaming people running around.
She shrugged. You're in Varisia. People seem to scream all the time here for no reason. If it was Chelaxian, they'd scream for a reason.
Yeah.
Saki goes, I'm sure there's been some screaming in town as you bully a wing. Yeah.
Yes, but that was screaming for a reason, she says, not for no reason.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Would you like me to educate you in the difference?
No, I'm fine. Thank you for offering, but I think I'll be quite okay.
Next time you're curious, just speak up.
Just say that.
She says, next time you're curious, just speak up and she'll show you.
I smile and gingerly just clearly walk away backwards. May trip over a dog on the way past by accident. Yeah.
So that was you managed to think you're tripping over a dog, flip over it, and nonchalantly walk away as both dogs run into each other, trying to see what was going on, with a loud crack noise.
I keep friends and influencing people. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. I'll find a chair and just sit there and just not put anything.
So, should we go and question Disgrace Sevilla?
Oh, you're talking to me? Yeah, sure. As long as I've got past what Fridge was talking about. Yeah.
Who's coming?
Getting crazy in my life, I suppose.
Well, she says it's about a day's journey from between here and Magnemar. It's about the halfway point if you weren't using the roads.
Yeah, I'm keen to go. Depends on what our research guru has found. You're looking quarters direction.
Okay. I mean, quarters, I'm assuming that there's no particular correlation to the Scarnetti location, parent.
He looks through it all and doesn't find anything that says anything different than what you saw previously.
So when the discussion of going to the sanatorium comes up, then just checking is the sanatorium one of the industries that the Scarnetti owned or used to own?
The sanatorium is something that they have funded over the years, but then so has people from Magnemar and from other regions of Varisia who have important family members they want to rehabilitate.
And possibly the Scarnetti have been sending more patients there over the generations, along with more money.
Yes. Normally, a patient comes with a donation.
But yeah, so the sanatorium is some distance from Sandpoint, is that right?
Yeah, it's about an hour out of Sandpoint. A day out of Sandpoint and about a day out of Magnemar.
Okay. The
people don't normally go there unless they have to.
Yep. Sorry. Would the Scarnetti estate be south of Magnemar, somewhat on the way towards the sanatorium?
Well, their estate is actually in Sandpoint itself, on the bluffs overlooking it.
Oh, okay, right.
They probably have holdings all over the place, but everything that you know about them is that they threw most of their wealth at Sandpoint, and that's where they lost most of their wealth.
Well, and as far as anyone's aware, the three surviving siblings, they stay at the bluff on Sandpoint, in Sandpoint.
They do. Though, the way things are going, you wouldn't be surprised if all three of them are involved, if they're doing this, making themselves sound stupid to everyone else to throw people off the track, but then they've been doing that for 20 odd years, so it must be a very good act on their part.
And the family's been doing it for generations in the lead up to it. So.
And you'd love to hang them for that because you like them that much.
Yeah. As I said, the honesty is the fact that they haven't been the targets of all those. Considering who they are. It makes them more suspect to be the murderers, except they're not smart enough.
It might be possible that their souls aren't worth enough.
Corner's happy to be, we should go and talk to our witness, but he also suggests that it's at least worth meeting the Scarnetti to see if they're aware of what their relationship with their workers was, and whether there was any personal connections that way that Willie, that Harry suggested might be. The sound of it, they're not the sort of people that have a personal involvement with their workers.
They pay them when they remember.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in a moment. I'm just going to drop something off at Ariadna.
Yeah. Is that fit like the others happy with that sort of plan?
If they're in town on the way through or something like that, that's definitely something to do.
Well, I figure that particularly if the sanatorium's a day's travel away.
Yeah.
We've already spent half the day doing other bits and pieces today, so we can go and look at the Scarnettis this afternoon and then head out to the sanatorium in the morning.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
No, sounds good to me. I'm happy with that.
So have you decided how you're going to approach things?
Well, we're working on the idea that we'll head out to the sanatorium in the morning, because it's a day travel away. But for the rest of the afternoon today, we'll take the opportunity to pay our respects and compliments to Scarnetti, the scions of Sandpoint, by catching up with the Scarnettis if we can at their manor house.
Okay, so as you head over there, you see that there is quite a plush-looking horse and multiple horses and wagon at the Scarnetti mansion, and it is a mansion. It's not a small place. You could probably fit a big chunk of Sandpoint in there at the same time.
When we're talking multiple horses and carriages,
multiple horses and a single carriage. So it looks like the carriage itself.
They've got guests at the moment.
Looks like they might have guests, but it does have the Scarnetti symbol on the side of it.
Right. Yep. Happy with that. There was something else I meant to check in the notes that have been done for investigation wise of it. Were they? Did they have any knowledge of the killings that have gone on?
They had not been. They had not. They'd just been questioned about what they'd been up to.
That's right.
Okay, so as you come up to the front door, you see a tall human. He's probably at the 6 foot, which is tall for most of the locals. And he has that military style thick mustache, and is wearing almost military-esque style armor, except it is accented in gold and gemstones.
Okay.
And he looks at you and says, "Who are you?"
Corda looks at it with a slightly greedy eye, but
he says, "Who are you and what are you doing on my doorstep?"
Greetings, Lord Scarnetti.
It's Tita Scarnati, I don't care about this lordship mumbo jumbo.
My name's Corda, one of the residents of Sandpoint, and
One of the waifs that have been here for a while, I see.
one of what terms we
He said waif.
Right, yep. One of those most appreciative of the support that the Carnegie provides to the town, and enjoy the benefits of your patronage.
Well, if he had his way, you'd be getting more patronage and less slackers from those inside. You sure you don't want to be a Scarnetti? You sound like you can actually talk.
Well, I'm not one that could dream of such exalted positions.
Well, it's not like the bloodline has anything going for it, he says.
Speak of bloodline, I understand that your sister and brother.
Well, they're my nephews. They are a bit idiotic, he says. He's come to check on how they've been messing up the family business while he's been away.
It's pleased to meet you then, sir.
He sticks out his hand and gives you a hearty handshake.
Has he actually potentially invited us in yet? A kind of a handshake?
He has not. He doesn't look like he wants to go back in either. He looks in and says it's been a while since the place has been cleaned. He's wondering if it's quicker to just burn the place down.
Surely not such a magnificent heritage location, facilities.
If it's not upkept, it will fall down on its own in the next few years, he says.
But surely the Scarnetti Manor is such a integral part of Sandpoint Township. Surely you could not let it go, let it be destroyed utterly.
Well, if it burnt, it would be the first time someone actually noticed it. He basically describes it as an eyesore and a money pit.
But obviously, from an external perspective, it was obviously once a manor house, and
it was once the best. It was once the best manor house until they started building the other manor houses.
Right. Yeah. It's pleased to see you in town then, sir. Have you been in town long?
He's just come to town a couple of days ago. He heard that there were some murders here, and he wanted to make sure that his kin weren't responsible.
You thought they might have been?
Well, part of him hopes they were so he could get rid of them. Officially.
And where did you hear the rumours of such goings on?
He works with the Magnamar City Guard.
Okay. It is, in fact, the murders that bring me to especially pay a visit upon your nephews, because at least some of those murders occurred in the lumber mill, which...
He laughs. There's not a chance in hell any of those inside actually reach the lumber mill.
The lumber mill?
That they can walk, but the likelihood of them walking further than to the local tavern would be quite laughable.
Well, I certainly wasn't necessarily expecting that they were directly involved, but it's apparent that the one who did the foul deeds potentially had a personal connection with the victims.
It says the four main families here that would have most of the connections are the Valdemar family, which the mayor has worked with quite a lot. The Devon Manor, which the mayor belongs to. The Kajitsu Manor, which belongs to Omiko, who disdains from living in it. And the Scarnetti Manor. So the four here represent as noble as you can get in Sandpoint, he says with a bit of a smirk.
Mm-hmm. Well, also just curious as to whether the workers there, their relationship potentially with Scarnetti, although I get the impression that potentially your nephew, the day-to-day running of the mill.
Normally he had a overseer looking after it, but the overseer's gone missing.
Ah. How long did the overseer been missing for?
Missing for, well, he thinks at least a week, because he normally gets a weekly report, and without the weekly report he came to check on what was going on.
Perhaps the overseer that we should actually talk to there to try and find more about the workers and their ends and relationships.
Well, the overseer made sure everyone got paid, and that people paid the Scarnettis what they were owed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it certainly sounds like your nephew may not have fulfilled that role quite effectively.
They haven't got a clue. You could probably give them a shiny rock and buy the manor house from them without actually knowing what they're doing.
Well, it's a shiny rock. I would point out my pointing. Is it a shiny rock?
He looks at you and goes, "No,
Okay.
I'm not my nephews."
No. I didn't want to show him. I was doing it to see if it came up as a shiny rock.
Oh, okay. You pull out a shiny rock, and yes, it is shiny.
Okay. Cool. All I need to find these guys in the tavern with a new manor. Okay, I've got ideas in my head already.
He does say, but considering they don't actually own the manor, they can't officially sell it. So he'd be in his legally able to evict anyone who moves in.
No, that's I'm not going to say anything. I just want to let our gracious do the talking.
I think I need something there to play. Are you saying that the Scarnetti don't own the manor?
The people inside the house.
Oh, okay, the nephews don't own the manor.
They don't officially own the manor. They're just living there.
Why, yes. You could show them the shiny rock, but it wouldn't actually be legally binding if you said except for the codes. Yeah, okay.
So they can officially sell it, but it's not actually sold because they didn't have the right to sell it.
Yeah. Okay, so did his name got in my head, was it Timmy or something?
Titos.
Titta. Did Titta mention the name of the overseer that's now gone missing?
Okay.
Or like if you didn't, I'll ask name?
He says it was Caden.
Caden. Is that one of the names of the known bodies that have been found?
It's not one of the names you remember reading, but some of them were unknown.
Okay.
Too much damage to the elements to be able, and animals to be able to identify.
Yeah.
Which is why they also haven't been able to prove where everyone was, because if you don't know when they died or where they died or where they were going, it's very hard to backtrack them.
Yeah. Does Corder happen to know who the Caden was and or where he might have lived?
You do remember as one of the more hated people of town because he was also a money collector. Because people would have to pay him rent and other stuff like that. But he also paid wages, so he was hated and sort of respected at the same time.
He was recognised as an important role, not necessarily a role that everyone enjoyed or appreciated. So, but he lived in town?
He lived in town, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Which is only about 5 minutes away from where you are.
Okay, so obviously because the intent would be we're staying back in town and like we're staying night anyway, so well, okay. Although I can't think of anything more that you want to talk to Chitta about, particularly since Chitta has not tried to actually inside talk. Make conversation somewhat shorter than it could have been otherwise.
What does Willie want to say?
What kind of shoes is this guy wearing?
He's got some quite large boots on. They've got metal bandings on them that even leave marks on the wood.
Okay, so not the kind of thing that would have left the marks that we've been seeing around the place.
It looks more military, soldiery boot than the really tiny, noble-y sort of boot. You think Lord Farquaad would have a similar size footprint? Referencing Shrek there for you.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay, like the boots match the fact that he's currently wearing military armour, if decorative military armour, isn't he?
Yep, they do.
So the fact that he's got different shoes on to what was in there is not necessarily automatically ruling out, but
the feet seem to be too large to be the ones that you recognise from the inn. Even if he wasn't wearing shoes, his feet would still be too big.
Yes. Unless the boots he's got on are way too big for his feet, then yeah. Okay, if people haven't got any other comments or questions immediately, Cordar will thank Chitta for his time. We might go and have a talk to the overseer, go to the overseer's house to see whether or not he had any family or things like that as to or indications that he'd gone through, or even we'll go by the house, see if anyone's there. If no one's there, we can go back towards speak to the Miss Kenobi and or even people like Abiko and Goya, just to ask whether or not this guy's been hanging around town or has been when he disappeared, how long ago type stuff. And then whether or not if he was noted to one of the bodies, whether that's likely, whether one of the bodies has been unidentified. Ooh, hang on, yep, here can be seen. Probably that one or that one. But,
Okay, so.
So by his house, if anyone any response, we knock on the house door.
Knocking on their house door, the door opens to the knock. No one was opening it, it just wasn't locked. You look down, you see the lock's been broken.
Okay.
That's bad.
Looks as if someone may have kicked the door in.
Excellent. Now, going in with the door. Well, I mean, you can go in if you want to, but like Cordar having effectively opened the door accidentally, and the door swung open, Elaine have a look before actually entering, so just see what's in there.
Okay.
You go straight in. Well, I get one of the things.
Sparky's going stealthily in, straight in.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I followed Sparky stealthily, having dropped into Panther style.
Okay.
Yeah. He dropped into Panther, or Cat style. Yeah. Just to keep Cat happy.
So that means that Cordar having a look in, he hopefully won't see Sparky, otherwise Sparky's done really badly.
Harry going in and saying, PFPD, make yourself known.
Okay, so As you're looking around, you see that this is just a single room place with bed, desk, kitchen, storage, all in the one room. And all the doors of the cupboards are open, all the drawers are pulled out. Looks like there was a pile of books on the desk at some stage, but that's gone.
All that effort for a 32 on stealth. Hold on.
Hey, it may not
You look around, you can't see Sparky.
They can't do. They keep barking.
And Sparky doesn't even see yourself.
No, that's how good I am.
Sparky looks in the mirror and he's obviously a vampire.
Victor's not here, you don't have to go on with that, So, but no, the first time I thought I'd do something right at the road, there's only a small room. It's like, no.
Oh no, you did perfectly. There's absolutely no way anyone else in the room saw you.
Okay. So, I'm stealthy in there, watching what Cordar's doing. I might just do it.
Looking for the door at the stage.
Okay. Well, while I'm stealthy in there, can I do a trap check?
Sure.
Okay, because just in case I want to save Cordar or not.
There's possibly an invisible wall behind the trap.
That's a 1. So
Yep.
I went from a 19 to a 1. Just put it out there. So I don't see any traps at all.
Okay, so you rolled a 1. What do you tell Cordar that you see?
He may not tell Cordar anything because he's trying to stealth.
Well, he said he'd tell you if he saw a trap. So what does he tell Cordar he sees?
You can see a little tug down on your legs on the side going. Watch out for that bit of wire going across the near the bed. And you cannot see a bit of wire going across the bed. So.
Okay. That's okay. I didn't actually see much going in here worth going in at all, so it looks like someone's already searched the place. I would have thought it was worth going and talking back to the sheriff and or Mike to find out if they had previously investigated this person and or investigated the house. So.
Well, looking at the door, Cordar thinks he recognises the marks on the door as potentially coming from the boots of the Scarnetti he was just talking to.
Yeah, and that's who I actually thought was the most likely person who investigated it. That's why I thought I will go and eliminate the other potential investigators.
You have a feeling he's not a subtle person.
No. And obviously, place found the wire leading across the bed for protecting the bed. Presumably, so there's nothing of interest to find. We can just ignore the trap and just talk to the sheriff. If they did the investigation, or whether it was in fact Timothy. Yeah.
So you do expect if there's a trap, there's probably something worth looking for where that trap's protecting.
You want the sound trap? That's the first question I had right then.
What's the trap covering the bed?
It's tied to the bed. There could be something under the bed.
Oh, okay, you think it's coming out? Well, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a thievery roll on a non-impossible trap.
Cordar's happy to let Sparky be the one to conduct an illegal investigation on the house or get caught snooping around. Okay, Sparky's already enemy number 1 in town anyway, so I'm going to have to wait making a difference.
So that's gone from a 1 to a 19 on the dice for a 32 of thievery, right?
Okay, so you go in, sweat dripping as you stealthily creep up, pull out your kit, cut the bit of wire you see connected to the bed, and follow it through all the way to the end of it, and you realise it was attached to the door as a doorbell.
Trap.
Trap. It was an alarm.
It was still a trap. Disarmed. So you're right going out safely here.
Now the doorbell will not ring if someone opens it.
That's right.
And then you realise that the bell didn't ring when someone opened it.
I don't tell him that, man. I just don't tell him that.
Corno can't well into anything under the bed.
Can I do a perception check under the bed just
Sure.
to keep? Because
That's
I
what
want
you're
to.
going in for.
No, you went to disarm the trap.
You said there was something under the bed.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. That's a 31.
Okay, looking under the bed, you see a set of eyes. You don't see anything else but those set of eyes. Nothing here, you think. Give me a will saving throw.
Yeah, it's above 10. It's better than usual for me. After a high roll. We'll 25.
25? Okay, so you go, yep, nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Do I feel a bit of just going, there was something there, but I don't know about it, kind of thing?
At this point, it was like, yeah, absolutely nothing under the bed whatsoever.
Cool. No, we're good here. Nothing to see. I've got you covered until we can go back now.
Everyone else can have a perception roll.
Corno 15. But, okay, he wasn't expecting anything, so he effectively, as soon as Sparky had looked under the bed, turned back around, Corno was already started to walk away, so...
So, both...
Using eyeballs. Yes, eyeballs.
How good was that?
I rolled a 2. I got 15.
So, not great. So, we're now down to... Did Duzar actually notice something?
I got 25.
Okay, so Duzar's the only one who noticed Sparky acting strangely. At which point you notice a part of your fabric on Sparky's glove from your butt.
Oh, is that where it went? Maybe I should get Sparky to repair it. Actually, that's better. That's better.
But you do think that Sparky's acting strangely.
What you should do is you should add your pants to the town repair bill.
I speak up given the last time Sparky was acting strange. And go... You're right there, Sparky?
Okay. I'm sure Sparky, he promised that any time she started hearing voice or something like that again, she'd let us all know. Obviously it's okay.
There was nothing, some eyes under the bed. We just do that based on my rolls. But
Well, I'll give you another will save to see if you can do that.
15 plus 27.
Okay, so you go, there was, and you keep stuttering and stuttering until you say, nothing under the bed. That takes you a while to say nothing under the bed.
User is suspicious and will look under the bed.
Okay, give me a perception roll.
Perception. Slightly better. 28.
28. Okay, so looking under the bed, you smell some brimstone and see what appears to be a burnt hoofprint mark.
Great.
And you can see right in the hoofprint mark a glowing name of Duzar written there.
Oh, I feel bad now. Okay, that's okay.
I stand up and tell the figure at large that the Sandpoint devil is apparently also messing with us while we're investigating this phenomenon or whatever we're doing. Or, you know, the bodies and stuff.
Okay. Well, I don't know who he is. Okay. Corno had started walking away for the doorway.
As Duzar announces that, Duzar looks around and Duzar's the only one there. Everyone else has walked off.
No. I will
try and find where everyone else went.
You see they've all walked down the street while we're busily looking under the bed. And you're on to catch up. You sort of hear a horses snickering in the background as you head off.
Guys, there is something there.
No, nothing there. It's okay.
Murray believes Juicer and walks back in.
Good, I'm happy to stop and find out what
Is
they're
there
talking about.
away before Harry walks away again?
Perry walked away and went back into the room to check out what you were talking about, but everyone else is still here.
Alright, well, leave Harry out of it because, it's just Harry after all.
We all left. The first ones that we left, so I was going back in to see what's going on.
Yeah, the rest of it all stayed with Duke to find out what she said was going on.
Yes, we walked down the street, I caught up and said, hey, there was actually something there.
You actually said there was something there.
Yes.
Oh, no, then actually Harry actively walked back to the house.
So did I actually see eyes? Do I remember seeing eyes last night?
You don't at this stage.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
So,
I thought you did that in the house. I didn't realize that you ran back to the room.
Yeah, I ran back to
John
the
just stayed in the
Go back
house
to
and
the
then
house.
realised no one was there.
You don't move away
Oh yeah, so what's Duke saying was in the house?
I think I know what Sparky was, why he was acting strange when he woke up in the bed.
It is acting strange.
He was acting strange.
at which point the GM reminds Duzard that Sparky is female.
Oh, sorry, yes. Then she was acting strange.
It's hard to determine a female elf. I don't say elf. Dwarf, that's no here on it. So, well, I'm talking about elf, sorry.
That can be fixed.
No, it's okay.
I mean, all of us think you're, what is it? No, at the moment. So, you can just tell.
But
Why
yeah,
she's
so
acting strange?
when?
When she looked out of the bed. It seems the Sandpoint Devil is deciding now is a good time to start playing Thassilonians again.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, there was a footprint under the bed with my name.
Gordas looking at Sparky saying, there's nothing.
No, there was nothing there. Was there? I'll let you. It's I'm not sure how to. I personally feel that Sparky doesn't think there's anything there at all. So
Yeah, and Gordas quite willing to believe that Sparky missed something obvious, like a glowing footprint under the bed. Although I don't find that even to believe even for Sparky.
No.
Well, so something connects both Sparky and I to the Sandpoint Devil. So if they're interfering in this investigation, it could be infinitely more difficult.
And what was Willie saying?
I was going to ask Parry, what energy types are good against devils?
Harry's not there. He walked away.
As you turn around, you see Parry walking into the room that you're all talking about. So Parry, you get to make a perception roll because you don't know exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly. I'm trying to figure out what Doozer found. But Doozer found something here. I must also find it. 31.
31. Okay, so you look and in the bed head you find what appears to be a journal of some kind.
Oh.
And it seems to be the What People Owe the Scarnettis journal.
Oh. let's read through this.
And so yes, you've apparently found what they couldn't find under the find in the room properly. So this is what they're obviously talking about.
I pick it up, I go out to Ron and I say, Juice, is this the thing that you wanted that you found?
No, it was under the bed.
Oh. I found this.
And
I read through it and to say, this is a long list of what people owe to Skynettes. It's like a loan shark book or something.
Including rent, money borrowed, wages. It's the full ledger for the Skynettes.
Wait. I hand it to Porter.
I'm sure that Ito will be happy to have the documentation. Can we now go and talk to Sheriff Harkness and or Miss Kenobi to find out whether or not they investigated this house, whether in fact it was Tito himself that has ransacked the place?
Well, if there's no objections, then you walk over to the cathedral because you know that Miss Kenobi is always there.
Yeah.
And she's able to confirm that no one in town has broken into the place because last time it was checked it was still locked. And the guy's been missing for nearly 2 weeks now.
Okay. And is it likely any of the bodies might be his?
She doesn't think so.
Okay.
With that natural roll of a 1 if you saw it.
I thought it was 1, but I wasn't sure. Yes, considering the fact that he's been missing for at least a couple of weeks, then that would narrow the possible field of Chanel that might have been, the bodies might have been his.
But she does point out that he does travel amongst the countryside fairly frequently. He knows all the back trails and all the hidden nooks of the region.
So it certainly might have been an area of doing subjects. Are you aware that Mr. Tiki Scarnetti has returned from Agama? I think we said we thought he lived, didn't it? Or I don't know the history where he stayed. I don't know. Well, he said he'd been in contact with Bank Marianne, so...
She'd heard that he had come back from Magnamar. And her contacts there say that he's well respected amongst the Hell Knights there as a straight talker.
And apparently had enough influence or connections that the reason he returned was that the overseer had been missing for a week or two, but also that apparently murders have been going on in town or in the vicinity.
It must be well connected indeed, she says, because she didn't know he'd been informed.
Well, and that's my reason I'm telling her was the idea of whether or not she expected he would have been told, or a warning of potential leaks.
Do you suspect that this Caden might be responsible for some of these atrocities, or all of them?
Caden is the overseer, wasn't he?
Yes.
Well, we were all looking to try and catch up with Caden on the idea that we know others with connection to unfortunate first victims means it seemed likely that there was a personal connection made them selected rather than opportunistic, except for maybe the girl. But the fact that he missed as well, either he might have indirectly involved and thought that he couldn't go around killing people forever without getting caught, so it may be why he disappeared a couple of weeks ago and he can continue to carry on his killings, or he come across the killer himself and he's one of the bodies put in there. So possibly one that hasn't yet been found.
So it's possible. Or he may be the current victim.
No.
Because it has shown that some of them have been kept alive for some time before they were killed.
Well, in his case, we can only hope that it's not the situation. If he'd been missing for a couple of weeks, it would be, yes, would wish on no one the idea of being kept alive for that long.
I guess it depends on how angry they are with them.
But I don't necessarily recognise her as the formal law authority within town. So his plan before going back to Toy's house in the evening would be to go by a sheriff, Agnes's, like the town hall or the sheriff office, whatever the equivalent is, and hand over the Caden's notebook, explaining that presumably this Peter Scarnetti will be wanting to claim this. However, I suspect that he's one that actually broke into the house recently to try and find either this or Caden. So here.
Well, he says it'd be quite hard to, prosecute if he was one who broke in, considering technically he owned the house.
Good. Not trying to actually make any statement either way as to the validity or otherwise of the point of view. But he also, as I said,
Says if Titus would like to give you a award for returning his ledger, would you wish him to know your name?
there's certainly no concern about food, but I think I'm happy to have handed it in. Not much to interfere with any due processes. But thought that yes, it should go through you before it goes back to Tito. That ends up being appropriate. So.
He does look through it and says, looks as if nearly everyone in town has at one time or another borrowed from the family.
They certainly have been a part of the town for a long time.
Would explain why they haven't had much money now.
Are there any current big debts owed?
He's looking through it going, well, it appears that there are quite a few who owe money to them, the Scarnettis. One of them being Mr. Foxglove.
Uh-huh. Do we know Mr. Foxglove?
Yes, The others had agreed to take him on a grand hunt and then failed to follow through, such that Shalulu had to actually go do it in their stead. And then he ended up...
You mean like the others, as in the original Friday Night Crew?
Original Friday Night Crew, yes.
Right.
And then he ended up in Magnamar, quite beaten up from a boar hunt. Shalelu was quite experienced at putting him right in front of a actual wilderness encounter.
It's like exactly what he paid for, and before. So, and it's a sizable sum he owed to, according to Caden's information, is that right?
That's correct. He had to borrow a bit of money to pay for medical expenses in Magnamar.
Okay. We'll head back to Koya's house. If Shalelu happened to be there, we'll inquire about this Mr. Foxglove. Otherwise, he may or may not follow up later date.
Okay, well, Shalelu is there.
Okay.
Yeah, finishing some of the repairs on the house.
Cordar's happy to be in to assist and ask a few questions about this Fox Club and the hunt they went on.
You actually hear her snort at the mention of his name.
Right.
And when you say hunt, she sort of has that look of disdain that you've only seen her use when you refer to goblins.
Okay.
So she's probably ranked him about the same level of goblin in her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Written all over her face. Very hard to hide that level of disdain.
Well, we hope she had no particular reason to try and really hide it from Cordar.
Normally she's very composed about things.
Yeah.
But goblins are one thing she's not composed about, and apparently so is this guy.
Absolutely. And Cordar can quite happily agree with that sort of aspect.
But she does tell you that he believes he owes her a life debt. And she said he can repay it to her by never seeing her again. She describes him as full of so much importance for such a short stature.
As such a personality, by the sound of it, I'm guessing he spoke for himself quite a bit. Did he happen to mention medical concerns or issues?
Last time she was speaking to him, he was held up in a bed, having people tend to him after being trampled, gored, bitten, and stampeded by a pair of boars.
The dates of the loan from the Scarnettes, does that align with getting injured on the hunt? Or
it does. It really was quite a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine then. I'm not sure exactly how many of the others are staying at Koya's house for the evening, but
I can't, I suppose, at least at the moment, until I've been told. I asked again if I can stay.
I think actually during the last session, you somewhat redeemed yourself, or at least put yourself in a position where you couldn't stay at the pub either. So,
I had a license why I wasn't very impressed by Miko's temporary manager there at the time, but yes, that's another story for another day. But if I'm not accepted in the Koya's residency, or Where Cordo calls it his residence, I call it Koya, yeah.
It was
I'll have
Koya's
to say
mother's
general.
house.
Sorry, what?
That's Koya's mother's house.
Koya's mother's house, yeah. So if I'm still on the band list, then I'll have to go. I'll see if I can get a room up at the cathedral. So it's far enough away from any sort of Willie and wife shenanigans. So Willie.
Well, you were told there's always room for you there. She has rack space.
Oh, just after
They've got a big bed.
you with Rex and Christians. But it all depends if I'm allowed to stay. I'll stay at the house, but otherwise I'll stay at the cathedral if I'm not welcome, based on my debt issues. So.
Okay. I can't remember exactly, but I've been working on the idea of the staying at the cathedral in Portugal. Because let's face it, it's not like Koya's house is that big. Not a lot of guest rooms.
No, that's fair enough. I'll stay at the cathedral. I will ask your lovely wife, Willie, is there a room I can stay in, and try not to find out it's the actual torture room, but I'll see how I go. Yeah.
I'm sure there's room for you, my friend.
Thank you.
But if Dooza and or Harry stay at Koya's, then Gordo will ask about the interactions they had with this box glove and the
Can they remember?
the possibility of the hunt and or lack thereof. And they've got no knowledge or recollection of a box glove.
No, we do. We're supposed to take on the boar hunt.
But you went goblin hunting instead.
Yeah, I think we went, after goblins. And didn't get back in time to take him for this boar hunt. What would Jesus remember of him?
He was a guy who was full of self-importance, had more money than sense, had probably had too high a heel on his boots to make him look taller. You do remember his fancy boots?
Are they the same boots that we saw, or boot prints that we saw in the middle? Or are they different?
Hard to tell. It's been a while, and it could be. You just don't remember much about, except the fact that he had fancy boots with a very high heel.
Well, I'll relate that back to Cora. Saying he was another sort of pretentious person.
But he did have expensive clothing, expensive weapons, expensive armor.
Yeah, but he didn't. Deuce's impression is that he didn't really know how to use said weapons and armor.
Right. And certainly correlated that information with what Shalalu talked about, that would certainly fit as well. Is that correct?
That would.
Yep, okay, well, so based on that sort of stuff and pay the potential fancy boots, so you're saying he had lots of money or appeared to have lots of money.
In Deuce's eye, probably either.
About from Harry's perspective.
Probably along the same lines as Duzar.
Like in the sense that, well, from what your interactions, you definitely would have said that he was rich and wealthy.
Yeah.
But if where Cordar mentions that, well, apparently he had to borrow a lot of money from Scarnetics a few weeks ago. I don't know, sorry, no,
A few years
that would
ago.
be more than a week ago, wouldn't it? Because that was back when they thing. But yeah, apparently he had to borrow a lot of money after Shalelu took him hunting and he got injured. Is it possible, when you think back, that he may have had maybe one who wanted to appear to have lots of money without actually having lots of money still?
Um,
I'm happy if possible, if it's like with that, because obviously it might be a hard thing to know, particularly after the fact.
I mean, I think we had like maybe one interaction with him, and he.
And you kind of say you don't know his entire life history and genealogy?
Yeah. And basically he was like, "Oh, you're strong adventurers. You'll know how to do a boar hunt, because I really want to do one of those things because I'm fancy."
Okay. Well, and certainly then, he certainly in Cordar's eyes then, he's gone from, well, random name on a ledger to possible.
Well, it goes up there with Caden as far as your thinking.
We know Caden has some connection with the first victims.
Caden definitely has connections with the first victims and possibly has connections with all the victims.
Oh, that's right. But it also, in the sense of, if Caden was a victim, it's part of the reason why Fox Club becomes candidate, on the fact that, well, it's a pretty personal connection where a lot of money's involved.
Can be, yes.
Particularly for someone who obviously likes to appear wealthy. And having said that, obviously, so but the Fox Clubs, are they a name around town? That they're not one of the four scions of the town that Tito talked about?
No. The Foxgloves are a family from Magnamar who have are holding somewhere around here.
Okay.
Though you also get told of from Lady Rose about that they found a survivor from the attacks.
Yeah, that's the one at the sanitarium.
Yeah, she says that's the one at the sanitarium.
Yeah, and that's where we're aiming to head off in the morning to go and talk to this survivor at the sanitarium.
Though she does describe about how it looks as if something has bored into the back of his head and eaten part of his brain.
It may not be particularly talkative.
He talks, but he doesn't talk any sense.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well.
She believes something has consumed his sanity.
Well, from a Cordark perspective, it's been a good day. If it's not still hailing and or overcast and cloudy, then they'll take the opportunity to try and sleep out under the moon.
It's cold, but you manage to do it.
Yep.
The things you have to do to get your elfness back.
Okay. And hey, the endure elements last for 24 hours, so you know, it should go through the night. Should we have to get dispelled or anything? And yeah, that's Cordar for the day and the evening. Don't know if anyone else wants to try and do anything for the evening.
No.
No, I'm going to spend quality time with my wife and my child.
Okay. You have quite the dinner.
Oh.
You've got game bird on the menu.
Game bird.
Wild bird.
Hopefully not owl.
Yes, straight away I was thinking the same thing.
There's something snatched from that nest just over there.
Mm-hmm.
And your owl is quite happy to partake in the meal as well,
Excellent.
as is your cat.
I'm always happy to share with those closest to me.
So, if you're happy to have the animals along, you invite the dwarf to dinner.
I would assume the dwarf is going to be eating with us, yes?
Sorry, Mark. Keep dig.
So what about Sparky? What has Mark been taken away from the microphone for a little bit?
I think he said he had a nose coming.
Quite possibly. So apparently Sparky is either at the table or in the inner room sulking. One or the other. We'll find out later.
I think it's better to give Sparky sink in on the dinner if he's invited.
And it's quite the feast. And in the morning there is a note of thanks from Titus Scarnetti for the ledger to Corda with a scroll inviting him to visit him in Magnamar next time you're there.
Oh, there you go. Now, actually, just when you said that Scarnetti type stuff, so he was pronouncing it in the way of the Pathfinder Lodge name, is that correct?
That is correct.
Right, yeah.
Though he might be the one that the ones who don't get it right think of as their more powerful relative.
Yeah, oh no, that's right. Well, because like it was that sudden thought, hang on, Scarnetti, that wasn't quite the word that was used before, was it? That is actually the thing. So, from Cordar's perspective, does he really want to get involved in that family?
And it does have the Pathfinder Society Scarnetti symbol as its seal.
Right. So, all good then. We can something I was going to mention to I forgot, but the Cordar would have mentioned to Parry when we first arrived at Caden's house, when he was bursting in with the PFPD. Cordar have a quiet reminder to Harry that, remember, you shouldn't normally announce connections with Pathfinder Society.
Harry responds with, PF could mean anything.
Absolutely, that's fine.
Hell, it could have been as lame as Parry's friend's police department.
If that's what your thought was, I'm glad to hear that it was
Parry and friend's police department. There you go.
Does this mean Parry's going to get a PFD badge fashioned?
Oh, Harry will try and craft himself a sheriff badge, definitely. He'll try and give one to everyone in the party.
Right, yes. But I'm thinking that's a pretty good spot to pause for the evening.
That is, and next session we can deal with you going to the madhouse. And then going to the sanitarium.
Yeah. I thought you said the mayor's house for a moment. I thought, well, we could stop by there on the way. And then I realised I meant madhouse, yes. Thanks very much, all.
All good, thank you very much.
Have a good night, and we'll catch you guys next week or the week after.
Yep.
It probably won't stay on.
Yeah.
We'll go through hard.
It's all good. You guys go get some rest. I will finish up and go to bed myself.
Have a good night, all.
Good night, all.
Please.
Bye-bye.